Hello, all you cuties. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm so happy to see you. Yes, you are. You're adorable. Today we're going to be doing a special stream. This is going to be a just chatting session. Aw, thank you for the petting. I appreciate it. This is going to be a just chatting session, and we're going to be showing up with one of my nice friends, Sam. She's going to be joining me today, and this is going to be an occasional regular stream we're going to do on mental health topics. Aw, thank you for the pettings. Hi, Sam. Sorry, I'll answer your call in just a moment. But yes, this is going to be a normal stream that we're going to do on various mental health topics. And today, we're introducing this little segment that we're going to do. Oh, thank you for the petting, Straken. And King. Now, this stream's going to be a bit different in that I might not be able to honor praises if they're redeemed, because we're going to be talking about different things, okay? We're going to be talking about important topics. And I might not be able to stop to praise you. So, try to be judicious in the use of the redeems. And I'll let you know if we reach a pause point where somebody can redeem if they would wish to. But if I have to refund your praise, please don't be mad. I'm not ignoring you. But this is a chatting session, and I'm presenting with somebody else, okay?
So super excited to be able to have this conversation. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm
Oh,
doing
looks like
very
you're
well.
getting advertisements on your end. Like, no, the advertisements.
Of course. Of course.
You know, Twitch has to have their share. All right. So I'm gonna. Oh, hi, Mama Natsumi. What's going on? I'm staring at the chat over here on my phone too, so I can see your chat also. So once they all get back from commercial, how we gonna start this? We we barely worked anything out, and we're just diving in there. Actually, may I start this?
Hold on just a sec.
Oh, take your time. Take your time. I love how like your
Damn it, I've
setup
dropped
is
something.
all it fall into the void. Got this like really really pretty background going on over there.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Yeah, just this little tiny thing on your shoulder. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, I thought that putting you right there would be very cute.
Oh, it's adorable. It's adorable. But how do you want to start this? I was asking before you said that if I could start with something.
Oh, yes, if you would like to start, that's perfectly fine.
All right, I figure it's okay. So what we're gonna be talking over today, because I'm hoping that Foxy here explain this. And would you prefer I call you Foxy or Sync during this stream? I can try either way, or just do what comes naturally.
It doesn't matter, I promise.
All right. In which case, I'm gonna go with Foxy because I know you that as that better, and I feel like that's just gonna keep the flow of things going a little bit better. So we're doing a mental health stream today over gender dysmorphia and things of such as being trans, not feeling right in your own body, and that leans a little bit more into the LGBTQ type area where we're a lot of people in who are in this general grouping of people feel distanced from the rest of society. You can feel alone in situations like this, and that's kind of what we're trying to head to fix today. We're trying to give a safe space for people to learn, for people to try to get information that they needed, not know that they're not alone, and maybe get a better understanding of themselves by listening to somebody who's been through the whole process from start to finish. Before we actually got started, I figured that a good place to start would probably be to explain what gender dysmorphia is. And the textbook definition of dysphoria is a state of profound unease, dissatisfaction, or anxiety, often presenting as intense emotional distress, sadness, irritability, or hopelessness. And those dysphoria is what can cause people to hate their bodies, hate themselves. Now, there's several different types of dysphoria, but today we're going to be focusing, unless I'm wrong, Sync, unless I'm wrong, you can correct me at any point in time. Feel free to interject. Um, we're going to be focusing generally on the gender dysmorphia, the dysphoria of the dysphorias that we're going to be talking about. Gender dysphoria is specifically distress resulting from a mismatch between gender identity and sex assigned at birth, aka being trans. And I feel like that's a great spot to start. I'm actually going to hand the floor over to you because I feel like you would have a very good medical understanding of how that comes about.
Yes. Um, I'm going to start first with a bit of an introduction. Most of you simply know me as that kitty on the internet, but I am actually a very highly trained medical professional, so I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I figured I should list my qualifications when it comes to this thing. I am a critical care flight paramedic, which means that I am an emergency interventionist. I have trained for 15 years in the field of emergency medicine, and that doesn't usually give me authority to speak on topics like this. I am very good at keeping somebody alive when they shouldn't be, and very good at intervening in different areas. But what I am also very good at Aw, thank you for the pettings. What I'm also very good at is medical topics in general, and part of my sub studies has been a subspecialty in psychiatric care, psychiatric intervention, and peer counseling for other people within the EMS service. Because, well, as you can imagine, being exposed to the things that we are is a very psychologically toll or very psychologically scarring. So many pettings. Thank you.
Everyone loves you, Foxy. They love you so much.
I love them. But yes, train of thought. Yes, being in the emergency medicine is a very psychologically scarring and tolling field. And what's made worse is that people who are seen psychologically struggling are often stigmatized. I I don't like to say this, especially not lightly. Oh, thank you, Luna. Luna TTV anime Funtime Foxy. Fun. Thank you, Luna, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Gonna go see what the streamer's up to. Okay.
But you were saying about you were saying
uh,
that the medical field is kind of psychologically scarring when it comes to a lot of the things that you guys deal with.
yes. It is a psychologically scarring field, and unfortunately, there is a massive stigma. And I don't like to tell this story much, but it is actually the reason I lost my last job being an actual flight paramedic after 3 years. A flight paramedic is in the top 5% of competency and skill when it comes to the field of EMS, which means we are the resources that other medics call the ground medics. We're the ones they call on when they need help with the worst injured or ill patients, which also means we're exposed to the most, which also means our psychological health takes a toll. When I started showing symptoms of PTSD and when I started going to therapy for it, my partner believed that I shouldn't be on the helicopter anymore. And she couldn't legally get me fired over that. So what she did was engineer a situation where I was attacked and I attacked the patient who attacked me back in self defense. And she used that as the grounds to say that I was unstable and got me fired from the job that I loved the most. The psychological
That's
stig.
tough.
Yes, I was concussed and fired all within a week. It was a bad time in my life, but we grow stronger and we learn lessons like don't trust manipulative people. But I don't tell that story for sympathy. I never expect sympathy. What I tell that story for is to show that the stigma when it comes to struggling mentally is very real. It's real in the people who need psychological care the most, and it's real in general society. Going back to my qualifications, some of the people that I love most in this world are trans, part of the trans community. So, I mean, some of the most amazing people I know are trans. And a while ago, because of that, I decided to seek additional training, additional medicine and background, specifically in transgender medical care, focusing very much on the psychological aspects as well as the aspects of ERT. So I've taken multiple intensive MD, which is medical doctor level classes, on the care of the transgender community. And I did that because the people I love most, I want to be able to support them. I want to be able to understand and offer them an understanding support system that would be able to assist them in both understanding what's going on with them and provide them with a point of support that, while not transgender, is able to understand what they're going through. Now, I will start this out by saying I am not part of the transgender community. I don't suffer from dysphoria. I don't suffer from dysmorphia. Uh, Unless you count being really jealous of my avatar for having such cute ears and tails.
your
I mean,
tail is so adorable. Speaking of which, let me interject here real quick. I would like to say that first of all, I love you for that so much that like, because any ally that the LGBT community can get is a good ally. Like there's so many situations to where um where we deal with so much unfettered hate that just isn't right to be thrown at us, or is like uh, a collection of other people's hates and ununderstanding that like having someone like you who takes time out of their life, out of their day uh, to support people like me, support my community, so we can feel safe in a world that's so unsure is absolutely astounding and beautiful to me. Um,
support my trans
and
homies, or your pronouns are going to be was were.
yeah, I love that so much. Um, but yeah, I appreciate that absolute ton. Uh, Also your credentials so crazy.
Whoop,
I
hold on.
I can't believe you went through that with your. Are they still your current girlfriend, or are they? If you don't mind me asking, of course, you don't have to answer.
Oh, no, it was never actually a. I'm sorry. I feel like they're. I should perhaps explain that when I say partner,
Oh,
I don't mean a sexual partner. A partner is the partner we have, the medical partner that I have at work on an ambulance. It's usually an EMT or another
okay.
paramedic.
So it was like your partner in crime, more like than a relationship status. I got you. I got you.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
the partner I was talking about who ended up getting me fired was my nurse partner who worked beside me while when in helicopter EMS there are three members of the crew, and it is a the pilot who flies the helicopter, a registered nurse, and a paramedic. The nurse and paramedic are in charge of the medical care, and the pilot obviously makes sure we don't die.
the pilot makes sure that we're not falling out of the sky.
Aw, thank you for the pettings,
And
Luna.
so, oh yeah. And the other thing, I knocked on your back door.
Oh, sorry, let me relax.
Hey, you you relax. I caught that too late.
uh, Hold on just a sec.
But actually, we're in the process of doing that. We'll have a shared chat here in just a moment. In just a moment. And click. All right, chat should be shared now. Everybody should be able to see everybody else's stuff. I didn't want to interrupt Foxy while they were explaining their background and everything. So I figured we would wait a little bit before connecting the chats. Like
Yes, I
honestly,
appreciate.
hey, no worries, no worries. Honestly, Foxy, I feel like you're definitely beyond the best choice that anybody could have chosen to have this conversation with, because like I feel like with both your the medical type give me a sec, both the medical type kind of like PTSD that you went through, along with taking time out of your day to understand trans care and understand the people in your life, because so many people just push people off so quickly, is absolutely astounding. Like you're such a beautiful person, just inside and out, and that's just absolutely beautiful to me. Um,
I I don't view it as something. I don't view it as something special. I truly believe this is what is simply should be done. I don't understand the hatred. I don't understand the stigmatization. I don't, because some of the nicest people I've ever met have been part of the trans community. And unfortunately, I believe that they're so nice because they've been hurt so much.
I feel like you'd be pretty spot on. That's one of the reasons that I'm so nice. I've been through so much that I don't feel like I've should have had been through, or should have had put on to me, that I have found myself trying to create safe spaces for other people like me, so they don't have to go through the same things that I did. Because everybody, I've said it a ton of times and throughout different streams, everybody deserves a chance to shine, everyone deserves a chance to be happy, and that's what I would like to see in life, of everybody being able to be successful, happy, smiling. And a lot of people don't understand, a lot of people aren't in your mindset, which has bothered me for quite some time, that like
Yes.
people are quick to hate. They are quick to throw people like me under the bus. We have this huge thing right now to where, like, some people are being sued for using bathrooms, or people's license being taken away, and it's really made a very unsure and not just confusing, but unsafe environment for trans people, and your outlook on life, and how you just willingly accept everybody, no matter their race, creed, gender, or anything along that, is just absolutely stunning to me, because there's so many people in this world who can't accept that as it is. They can't accept another person as it is. They have to have some sort of control over them in their life. So,
Now, I wouldn't say
you
that,
for being so wonderful.
actually. The creed part does absolutely not apply, because if you're a Nazi, I believe you should die.
Okay, understandable. I agree. I agree. I guess there is
Yes,
certain
basically, if
areas.
you make a choice to base your entire life on a system that only supports hate, I don't believe you should get any love back. If you base your life on giving hate, you should not receive love in return.
Oh, and I definitely agree on that part. You know, I don't understand people who hate so much. And I see where you're coming from there. But I think we've
Yes,
scattered off the topic a little bit.
I just want to take a moment. I see that my chat has been very active, and I want to guys to know that I'm not ignoring you, but we are talking about things up here. Luna, I have seen your messages, most of them. I'm not ignoring you, but if you would like to collaborate, then we should talk sometime when I'm not on stream, okay? If you would like to, I do have a Discord server. You can join, and we can certainly talk. I would love to have more perceptions on this topic here.
Oh, for sure. I love talking to everybody on this topic because everybody has a different story. Everyone has a different life.
Exactly. King, I'm not ignoring you, but I can't respond to you either. So please don't get angry if I'm not responding to you specifically, okay?
Y'all be wonderful out there. You're all fantastic. But
FYI, Japan has Discord. Oh, I apologize. Well, then, I give you permission to send me a DM here on Twitch, and I will talk to you there, okay? I would really love
and
to hear from you, Luna. And like I said, I'm not ignoring you. I really enjoy that you came here and you seem to have some experience in this topic, and I appreciate it. So if you would like to send me a DM, I will talk to you there. I promise.
I also scrolled up and saw that uh Bracken was saying and it just applies to the topic. Bracken was saying that a lot of cis people don't take time to actually understand the trans community, and I'm definitely going to have to agree with you there, Bracken.
Well,
Um,
yes, that is an
they're
unfortunate
kind of
side
like
effect, and that is kind of part of the problem. But that is the
that's
problem with all forms of bigotry, basically, is that they see somebody as other, as different, without understanding. And the more people of different backgrounds that you come into contact with, the more people of different cultures you come into contact with, the more you realize there aren't actually all that many differences. There are
and
far more similarities than there are differences.
I'm gonna bring up a point there because it actually does bring up a very valid point of people not quite understanding. Um, when you're looking at cis people not understanding, you have to realize something, and this is why I kind of try to kill with kindness. Um, because I try to be a pillar of the trans community whenever I can, because I don't want people looking down on us when they already have enough to look down on us for, right? They got a whole bunch of media telling them one thing, on the internet telling them a whole other thing, and then religion telling a whole nother thing, and it scares people because they don't know, they don't understand, they haven't had this plight, they haven't had these feelings, and it's outside of their realm of understanding. So that's why I try to, like I said, kill with kindness, because the biggest fear amongst people in general is fear of the unknown. And when you have something that is so unknown about that people can spin the tale however they want, people start to accept that fear, and that's what I feel like causes a lot of hate from, like you were talking about, Draken, from the cisgendered people to the trans people. They just don't understand. They they've never felt it. They've never had experiences with it. So the best way that I've found to really change people's mindsets is that killing with kindness. Because if you can prove to them that you are just another person, that you have the same feelings, that you have the same morals, you have the same code that they do, they tend to understand you better. I actually have a friend who um, they were against everything. All right, like they were against like all them, and this is not my words. All right, off the bat, the all them gays, all them trans, they're all suspicious and bad and everything along that line, right? But after meeting me, after talking with them, and after showing them the kindness that I would want them to give back to me, they slowly began to understand that I am just another person trying to live my life like every other person on this planet, and I'm not some thing to be feared. I'm not some terrorist organization leader, or trying to hurt their children, or chase them down to have my way with them in the middle of the street. It all becomes back to that fear mongering that that the world seems to be so good at nowadays, um,
That
because they just,
is
like I said, don't know.
that is, yes, another good point. The oversaturation of false narratives, the oversaturation of deliberately misleading information. Uh, a good rule of thumb, if you ever hear a politician talking about the safety of children, is that it is about anything but children they're talking about. What they're doing is pushing an agenda because, for some reason, despite the fact that Save the Children has been used throughout human history as the rallying cry of people who have no good intentions, they still don't catch on to that. And it's still an effective tactic for people to use when they want to push a certain agenda forward. So, yes, there is a lot of misinformation out there. There is a lot of deliberately misleading, deliberately inflammatory information that is completely untrue, which is kind of the whole point of this, actually, is
Yeah, they're trying
to.
to show people that we're not scary. We're not, well, we're not some radical movement, or like, something that needs to be fixed. We're people. We're here. We've been here for centuries. Like, I'm gonna go to one of my notes that I wrote down here as of recently, because I wrote a whole bunch of notes down to keep myself on track, like I said off the bat when we first started, because I got the ADHD. I get so distracted super hard, because a lot of people nowadays, or at least I don't know if anybody else has heard this, but I've heard this a lot, that like trans is this new thing, right? Like, it just popped up over the last like 50 years, and that's where the whole they're putting chemicals in the water, it's turning the freaking frogs gay thing came from, right? Because they're like,
The
they're
gay
pulling
frogs
from
thing has
races.
always been
Yeah,
funny to
yeah.
me.
Oh, it's hilarious. But they're kind of locked in those ways. They don't quite understand. It's
There have been depictions of transsexual, transgender people as far back as the ancient Egyptians, about
there we've had
10,000 years ago.
images. Like, the one that I like to use most often, because my mom is like 75% Indian. I believe I'm like 60, because the Indian blood runs high. So
Any
one
world
thing I
mythology, that is a good point. I mean, just look at Loki in Norse mythology. That
exactly.
motherfucker was the most gender fluid god to ever exist.
Oh, consistently. And he woke up, and it just brought chaos. Just woke up and like, I feel like chaos today. Now, am I gonna do it as a man or a woman?
What's
Figure it
in
out on the way.
What's in your pants? I don't know yet.
I don't know. Evil.
I haven't decided today.
But the one I like using so much is because the Native Americans use this a lot. They called us two spirits, and the two spirits name was an explanation of trans amongst the tribes of Native Americans, and it often connected to or meant uh, one of feminine and masculine proportion, right? That's why it was two spirits. So with that, that's just into the Native Americans. That if you really look at the Native Americans, they were kind of secluded from the rest of the world, right? So being secluded from the rest of the world, they still had trans. Then you got people in South Asia, and I'm gonna murder these names, by the way, so just be prepared. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm about to murder these names. It's gonna be so bad
That's
because it's
fine.
from all around the world. So I'm gonna pronounce these the best as I possibly can, but I I can't speak other languages, so
That's
let's have fun with
fine.
this one.
That's fine.
From South Asia, it would be Hijra. From Islamic, it would Munhana Thuna. From Polynesia, Fine. From New Zealand, Takatupui. And these are just some of these examples that are from around the world that have been in past centuries. Speaking of trans people, it's not just something that popped up over the past 50 years. Matter of fact, the term transsexual really only popularized around the 1950s by Harry Benjamin.
Yes, the okay, this is a little off topic, but also entirely on topic. And it's on the topic of Western medicine. And you will find this throughout all of Western medicine, which is that the modern understanding basically, medicine is fraught with this misunderstanding that something didn't exist before it was classified in our textbooks. And it pops up everywhere. Not to mention, a lot of times we're wrong when it's originally classified. But there's this perception that, like autism, it wasn't given a name, a specific name in psychology textbooks until the 1930s. And when it was introduced, everybody said to themselves, "Oh, this new thing just dropped. This is wow, this is terrible. Autism is terrible. What? Where did this come from?" It, it's always been there. We just didn't have a name for it, and just because it was named in a textbook doesn't mean that it was suddenly discovered and established when we named it. It's just classified. It's
I'm
it's such a
sorry for
funny
the little giggle
misconception.
there. No, I couldn't help but laugh there when you said that, because when you said like, oh, this new thing just dropped, my brain was just like, new mental illness just dropped. You got it? Like,
But that's the thing, though. That's the common perception. It's just people, when something new is discovered, they're like, "Oh shit, this new thing just started happening." No, we just realized it was there. We
and
just named it.
with that, it comes back to the unknowing, because people wouldn't, before reading that textbook, before somebody told you that it exists, before somebody had a name for it, a lot of people didn't look into it. A lot of people weren't thinking about it. Now we know that it was a problem. It's always been there, and we can now try to head towards fixing that problem. But it had already been there. The lack of people knowing about it is what ends up causing that fear that we were talking about earlier, and causes people to panic, because now there's a name to it. Now it has something I can point at. It's this problem. This is
Yes.
what's causing it.
Yes, that is true. Also, Beta, that's fine. Go grab yourself some cereal and enjoy your breakfast. I appreciate it.
They're absolutely wonderful.
But
I
yes,
want you
that
to know,
is.
Fox, I really enjoy doing this with you. It's really great.
I enjoy doing it too. It's wonderful to speak with you on this. All right, so we did get off on a little bit of a tangent there, but it was an
A little
informational
bit.
tangent, I think. So let's get back to the original question that was asked 30 minutes ago. And that is on the topic of what medically dysphoria is. And this is an important topic to discuss. Why I think it's very important is the fact that. Oh, Danny, you weren't here for the beginning. This is going to be an occasional stream that I do with Sam or other people on mental health topics. That's going to be an extra stream whenever we can get together and do it. I know it's Sunday and I don't normally stream this day, but this is going to be a mental health thing where we go through different kinds of mental health care on different topics. Anyways, dysphoria is important for us to talk about, especially important for people who don't suffer from it to talk about. And why that is because we have no form of reference for what is happening there, which is good, but also not good. Good in the fact that for those who do not suffer from this, I wouldn't wish for you to do so. I truly wouldn't. But just because you
I
don't
definitely agree.
suffer from it doesn't mean you shouldn't understand it. And that's where the breakdown happens. They don't suffer from it, and because it's not happening to them, it doesn't exist. Many people are of the opinion that because they have never experienced it, that means that other people are lying about it, which is a profoundly self centered point of view, and something that needs to be corrected. Just because you've never experienced schizophrenia doesn't mean that that person who is clawing at their own face because the voices won't stop is faking it. Just because you've never experienced dysphoria doesn't mean that people aren't suffering from it. Sorry, were you going to say something, Sam?
No, no. I was actually listening to along what you were saying because it's actually a really good point to make because there's a lot of people who don't experience it. And I was kind of trying to think of a way that I could give somebody an idea of like things that I experienced before then because I'm post-op. A lot of my problems have been fixed thanks to the surgery because I did not like the way my body looked. The
Well,
fact that I had the wrong parts really distressed me a
yes.
lot, like a lot. And I guess the best way I could explain how I felt is, have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and went, I gained 5 pounds? You noticed that 5 pounds and you gained 5 pounds, right?
Yes.
So let's stick there for a second. You're a little bit overweight. You've noticed you're a little bit overweight. Most people's reaction would be either like, A, I don't care. I'm comfortable in my own body. Let's consider that to be like a cis person. B, I need to fix this.
Yes.
The difference in this is that in a cis person's uh, situation, they don't need to fix it, right? They can get to it when they get to it. They're okay. They're comfortable with their body. In the trans person's position, like where they're a little bit overweight, um, most people could just work that off. But in a trans person's case, if we put it into an actual gender dysmorphia case of it, you can't fix it. I can't go and work out and it just get rid of it. I can't just chop it off because I'm just mutilating myself at that point in time, right? So it becomes super distressful for people like me when day in and day out you look at yourself in the mirror and you see something. In my case, I have body dysmorphia as well as I have gender dysmorphia. So like when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see something that you can't change, that you can't fix, that you're stuck with on a day-to-day basis, and it makes you upset, it makes you unable to unable to cope because you can't cope. There's no way to fix it. That's why I went and got it fixed. I went and had the surgery, and ever since I had that surgery, my life has been so much better. It's not. I used to be super depressed. I used to be super angry consistently. I hated the world. I hated everybody around me because I was dealt this hand that nobody could help me with. Nobody wanted to help me with. Nobody even wanted to speak on it because it being trans is correct me if I'm wrong, in this time and age is a bit taboo.
Yes,
Like it's one of those things that people look at and you get like one of two reactions of like I'm rooting for you or ill.
that is quite true.
So you get I got stuck in this situation when I was like when because I was panicking a lot actually, and that's what was causing me to hate everyone. I was pushing everybody away because like I had a major problem that I couldn't fix. I hated myself because of this major problem, and that hate spread from myself to others because I didn't have a way to fix myself, so I couldn't take care of the others around me. When
And that
I after
is
I,
a very important point as well. Something that we in the caregiving field often run into, which is compassion fatigue. And if you are not taking care of your own mental health, if you are not in a stable place, you don't have a stable platform with which to support and help others. It is a constant juggling act for people who are in the healthcare profession, something that is very important to get right because the consequences could be dire in my position. But it's also just simply true in the general area. People who do not feel right, who aren't able to be centered, often lash out at others because they cannot fix themselves. They feel like something is broken and they're unable to empathize since the pain is kind of blinding their own perception.
yeah, and that's exactly that description right there was exactly what was um, going on in my life because it was just this overwhelming feeling like I'm never going to get anywhere. I'm never going to be as hello mother, how are you doing? Sorry, ADHD. But that was my squirrel for the moment. Um,
That's all
but
right.
um, I was in a situation where I was hating everything. I couldn't love myself. So since I couldn't love myself, I didn't have love to give to anybody else, and this caused a lot of rage in me. This caused a lot of mental anguish. There was no way. I still at times refuse to look in the mirror because it caused almost. I don't want to call it a PTSD because it's really not. I don't like have like flashbacks, and that's underplaying PTSD, right? So like, but
Yes.
I'm gonna call it PTSD esque. I can't look
Well,
into mirrors for too
there is
long
actually a
because
term for what you're describing, and it's called a traumatic stress response. Basically,
yeah,
something
yeah,
that has caused you pain in the past, the memory of that pain will often influence your future actions and the way you react to things.
Yeah, and that's exactly what was going on. It was my heart was wrenching. I didn't have a way to fix it, and then I decided one day that no matter what, I was going to fix it. Like, and when I say no matter what, I threw everything to the wind. All right, I knew since I was a kid. All right, and I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here, but it's all related. So,
Go ahead.
I knew since I was a kid that I was trans. Like ever, I was, and we're gonna go into these bits and pieces of story that I don't normally talk about my life. That I don't talk about because it was before my surgery. I don't talk about it a lot because I like to live my life from where I was happy forward, right? So, when I was a kid, when I was really young, like I was actually in Boy Scouts. All right, so is female now, was not then, but I was in Boy Scouts, and that's really when I started realizing that I was trans. I wanted to be a girl. I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to play with the dolls. I didn't want to be in the garage fixing tires and playing with cars. I wanted the pretty things in life, right?
So you didn't
So,
look at G.I. Joe and see yourself.
no, most kids my age were seeing GI Joe. I was seeing Sailor Moon.
Yes. That
Like,
is
so,
actually a very relevant and a good point. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out. Is that this feeling of dysphoria often starts at an extremely young age. What Sam is describing are what we call indicator points. They are indicator points of what is going on. People who are observant, oh, thank you for the eddings. People who are observant of these indicator points can often head off future problems. Say, if they see these indicator points in their own children, they can stop the dysphoria from getting very bad by starting non invasive gender affirming care early. Uh, the problem becomes the choice to not do so.
which normally I would suggest, right? Normally I would be like, you know what, look into it, and I'm gonna say this off the bat here before we continue forward, guys. There is no time limit on figuring out who you are.
Oh,
There will
yes.
never be a time limit on figuring out who you are. In my life, I have known trans people to go cis. I've known cis people to go trans. I've seen gay people turn straight. I've seen straight people turn gay. And throughout my life, it is not illegal for you to change. It's not illegal for you to figure out who you are later in life. Right? It's
Oh,
it's okay to change. It's okay to find yourself at a later point, or maybe even change who you are just a little bit here and there. There's no time limit on it, so don't feel like you have to rush into a decision immediately. I
sure.
wanted to put that out first because a lot of people, especially because I deal with this in the LGBTQ community. Um, a lot of people, like I have a friend. I'm not going to name their name, but I have a friend who
Hold on
went
just a
through
sec.
a.
Uh,
Oh, take your time. Take your time.
Sam, one of my
Yes.
followers, they put in there that it's time to stretch and to hydrate, and I think that's a good idea for both of us.
Right.
So let's pause for a moment. We're both going to stretch, we're both going to hydrate.
Gonna stretch.
All
Oh,
right.
my headset connect. Actually,
Thank you, Danny, for the wonderful reminder. I appreciate it.
drink the water. My mom in the chat saying I've been here to support Sam's her whole life because we each got our own. We got to side for it. My mom was actually there for the surgery. My dad showed up at the end to make sure that I was okay and everything. Um,
It is so
uh,
wonderful that you have parents that are supportive. So
oh,
many don't
my dad.
have that. And I'm
And
so happy for you that you have a supportive family. That makes me
I am
so happy to
so
know.
happy. It's so fantastic. I'm gonna be completely real. Um, I feel for people who don't have that same support that I had, because um, I came out to my mom and my dad when I was like, I first came out as like gay, right? Because test the waters, right? And when I say test the waters, I'm gonna throw out another thing here. If you don't feel safe, it's okay to stay in the closet. And I know that's a touchy subject, but if you don't feel safe, it's okay. You can
Yes,
find a
it
safe
is
space. There's
perfectly
no
okay to need to stay temporarily in a closet while you extricate yourself from an unsafe position. You will
because
find a family that will support you later. Just because it
there's
may not be your blood family doesn't make it
yeah,
any
it
less
doesn't make it any less
potent.
your family. But like we've found each other. You're not alone. There's people out there willing to help you up, stick out a hand, and show you the light, show you the right place. It's okay if you need to stay hidden a little. And I know that it hurts in your heart that you can't share some parts of yourself with the people who you care for the most. But
Yes.
it's better to be safe than sorry, right? You don't want to destroy your whole house of cards before you got to build it.
Let me take just a moment. Thank you so much for Midnight Papa for coming here. My great accomplishment, they say, is I overcame my seasonal depression this year, and I am so very proud of you for that.
Oh, amazing! I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that you're making waves, you're making movements, taking steps forward.
That's right.
You got
My
this. I
my
believe in you.
opening my opening chat thing is for new chatters to come in. I tell them, the rules, and then I let them know to tell me their a recent accomplishment so that I can share it and I can celebrate it. So I thank you, Midnight Pop Up, for sharing that with us, and I am so proud of you for that. You are wonderful, and you are very much loved.
Yeah, very much love, very much love. I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here, Midnight Pop Up. You're fantastic. Danny Cat actually says, my mom told me I was gay. She was right, and I believed her since she was also gay. And I find my gender very, very attractive. Yeah, it's that's actually what Foxy was talking about. Uh, a little
What your mother said was what your mother saw was your indicator behaviors and put it together before you did, which is
right.
which is funny. That's often it's the opposite because parents don't like to admit that there is something different about their child. But I guess since your mom is gay, she saw the behaviors in herself and then saw the behaviors in you.
Like, and I love that. I love that it like finalized the point, like brought it full circle.
Yes, that
Um,
is a fantastic. I love it.
but I'm actually gonna take a step back to where I was in that story. If you're okay with that, Singe.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
I'm gonna call you every name under the book today, and I'm not gonna pronounce your name right once. Like,
That's
um,
fine.
so I was saying that I was in Boy Scouts, and I was like, you said that and I was talking about the Sailor Moon thing. It's two separate ends. Um, I used to find myself like looking up at the sky and the stars and everything, and like praying and wishing that like the next day I would just wake up different, but it never happened. And then over years, I began to discover myself more as I went into it. Like I said, I first came out as gay. I knew what I was, I guess, from an earlier age in that, but I wasn't willing to admit it because there's a large step in between being gay and being trans. Some people can accept you being gay, but they can't accept you being trans. and that's what I was really worried about, especially like in those high school years, because as you're hitting those high school years, everybody knows that high school is just hell when it comes to people bullying, when it comes to people picking out your flaws. And there is nobody better than a kid in high school to be able to pick out every single flaw that you have in your soul. And push it out there. So I was busy trying to discover myself, find myself, and I came out to my mother first, telling her that I was gay, and then I came out to my father right after that, still testing the waters, and I finally accepted that I was trans later on in life, around, I'm gonna say, like 16, 15, 16, right? So I knew, and I was wishing for it at a younger age, but I didn't have a term. I didn't have a word for it. I knew the feelings and emotions were there. I knew what I liked and what I wanted to head towards, because I enjoy men. Um,
Right.
and I didn't really learn about the term trans until like I was like 15, 16, because I was on a bus and somebody was talking about my titties and how they look nice. And so I was like, oh, I was like, okay, well, thank you. And then they asked me something about, like, if I was trans or not, and I didn't know the word, and I started like looking it up and like learning about it. And once I actually like learned about the whole thing, I was just like, nah, that couldn't be me. Nah, no, that there's no way. Nah, this. And then like I took a long, hard look at myself, and I was just like, I found myself denying it more and more and more, until one day I was just like, I'm spending so much time denying it. I am. Like, I
You
finally hit
know,
that breaking point to where it was just like, you know what, I'm just trying to hide from myself at this point.
what's funny is that what you're describing is also kind of similar to the mental steps people take when it comes to being a furry too.
You're like, there's no way. I just like the ears. I just like the ear. Well, I mean the tail. You can't have the ears without the tail. You can't. But those fursuits are really nice. Like,
And I really want to have that soft fur. That fur looks really soft. Oh shit, I'm a furry.
Godzilla, there is suits. They're called scalies. They're called scalies.
Yes, the furry fandom and the scalies, they're all part of the same thing.
Yeah, see, my mom made a solid point here in the chat. She said I came out to her as gay, and that I wanted to be trans. I wanted to go through the surgery, and I did tell her that I wanted to wait on until later on in life, just a little bit, because I I, I was sure of myself, but growing takes time, right? Like, you grow into yourself. You find out new things about yourself as you age and grow. And
Of
I
course.
didn't want to hastily make a decision while I'm still in the midst of all of these hormones and weird feelings, and she looks pretty, but I'm not into her. But he looks hot, and I like that. And I didn't want to rush into a decision that I couldn't be sure of myself at the moment. So I kind of pushed it off. I believe around 20.
Yes, that is
Uh,
actually. Can I pause here? This
yeah,
is
yeah, of course, of course.
actually a good point, and something that is very important when it comes to the psychological well being and medical care when it comes to transgender.
Here,
A lot of
can
the.
you hold on to that for 1 second?
Oh, sorry.
They just hit ads.
Oh, my bad.
No, no worries, but just keep a hold of that, because I don't want to lose your point there, but no, they're not going to be able to hear it. So just pausing for a second, so because you got to respect the people in the ads, right? I mean, we're still getting paid by them, so like,
That is true.
they're out there, unwillingly making us money. they're,
Oh,
they're out there in the mines.
Well, since we're waiting for ads, somebody would like me to praise Danny, so I'm gonna praise her real quick.
Ooh.
Hi, Danny. I'm so happy you decided to join us this morning. And I'm so happy to see you here. I know you're all sleepy. Your mind isn't working yet. And that's okay. You just being here, that is more than enough. I always smile so much when I see your name pop up. You're a wonderful person. I adore you and I love you so much. And I'm not calling you out on the furry thing. I promise. Even though I'm pretty sure you would look absolutely adorable as a kitty.
As a kitty.
But I'm so glad you're here, Danny. You always make me so happy when you show up, and your birthday's coming up soon. Just in case I'm not here, and I'm not able to show up on that day because I'll be out at work at that point, I wanted to wish you an early happy birthday. I hope that that day is very happy for you. I hope you get nice gifts, and I hope you get to share it with people that you love. And know that at least one person, and that would be me, loves you dearly and is thinking of you on that day.
Yeah, I don't think I could. I don't think I can redeem the praise from you. I don't. I don't think I can do that. Like, I would redeem it, and I'll just be sitting back, like, you got your eyes are too pretty. All right, your eyes are too pretty. You can't look at me with those eyes and then praise me. It makes me feel some sort of way.
Oh, Beta would also like to be praised. They're taking advantage of this pause. Beta, you're such a good girl. Did you know that? You are. I adore you so much. And thank you so much for showing up to this early stream, even though you're sleepy. I definitely need my number one mod and my number one praise redeemer here. You're so wonderful. You always make time, always here, and it always makes me so happy. I want you to know that you are a beautiful, wonderful little cutie. I adore you so much. You always make me smile. You always make everybody around you smile. And when I get to watch you stream, your voice is so cute. Your little bois, your little rags. So cute. I love you, Beta. Mwah. You get kissed.
Yes, Godzilla. What would you like? You said you're saying my names. I didn't want to interrupt the praise because it's too good. I wish I could.
Oh, it's the good time to stretch. Okay. I will
I
stretch.
like what I want waffle fries.
I want waffle fries. Yes, waffle fries sounds great.
I actually have a thing of dip in front of me. It's like buffalo chicken dip. I'm not chewing on it because I'm not like this stream is actually really important to me, so I'm not like up in everybody's ears. um,
Okay.
yeah, it's buffalo chicken dip. That's pretty good.
Alright,
I thought,
Draken.
yeah,
Draken would like to be praised too. Guys, this is the last one. We can't derail the entire stream for this, okay? This is the last one for now. Draken, you're such a good girl. You're so wonderful. I had just seen Draken yesterday. She came to my D&D session, the one that I run over here. And it was so wonderful. Unfortunately, Draken almost died because we were all laughing so hard. But it's so wonderful to have her there. I adore her so much. I don't think she understands just how much. I love seeing her. Such a sweet person. So nice, so kind to the people around her. And still just such a good girl. I love you, Draken. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Mwah. Get kissed.
giving bonks to both of us.
Dogs? How dare.
How dare? But yeah, I guess we should probably get back to topic, huh? We got a little bit off track. Okay, you were actually going. You had a point. Do you remember your point was?
Uh,
Foxy, you were supposed to hang on to it.
yes. Okay, I remember now.
There we
Okay.
go. Win.
We were making a point about the right time. A lot of the steps put into place for when it comes to permanent steps like transgender reassignment surgery or beginning ERT are often gatekept by things like psychological evaluations. And some of those steps were put into place mm, not to help, but as a hindrance. However, some of those things were put into place by people who actually do care. The right time argument is an extremely important one to keep in mind. Like what Sam said, figuring out your own mind is a process. Figuring out who you really are, it is a process and it is a long one. Sometimes you cannot be sure. And taking that permanent step only to then regret it would be unfortunate because at that point it's quite irreversible.
Oh, very, very much irreversible. Yeah, very, very much irreversible. I don't.
But
That's a
luckily,
real good point.
because of the psychological evaluations, the official statistics when it comes to gender reassignment surgery is that the regret rate of that step is actually around 97. Let's see, I believe this year was 97.2%, which doesn't mean 97% of the people regret it. It's the 97% of the people do not regret it, which is kind of an astounding metric. It's one of the highest, if not the actual highest level when it comes to medical procedures. For comparison, a knee replacement surgery has about a 42% regret rate. Most medical surgeries do not achieve an a non-regret rate above 80%. So the fact that gender reassignment surgery has a 97.2% acceptance rate is honestly astounding. And that's because before they take that step, they make sure that they are sure.
Now that we're talking about making sure that you're sure, I did have a few notes here on on next steps. All right, so a lot of people finding your next step, right? If you're going for that surgery, and I love that statistics, by the way. That 97.2. It's because you're right. I had to go through a lot a lot in order to get the surgery. And it wasn't just something I could like do overnight. This wasn't something that wasn't even just like, oh, I can do it in a month. That wasn't an option. I had to go to first of all, I had to be on HRT for at least a full year. So
Right.
you'd first start off on HRT, and for those who don't know or want to know, thank you, Moonlight, for following. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot.
Aw, thank you, Nico, for
For
going over there and following.
um so one of the things that what I had to go through is the HRT, right? So you start on HRT if you're actually looking to replace your hormones and everything. Now this isn't Danny followed too. Awesome, I love that. Awesome,
Aw,
thank
thank
you.
you,
I appreciate
Danny.
you.
I had actually had a whole section set aside for HRT to kind of explain that.
Oh, would you like to explain it?
Uh, no, there was something else I wanted to go over first, but I'm just letting you know that
Oh, okay, wait.
I have further information. But yeah, you go ahead and talk about it
Well,
from
well,
your perspective.
all right, all right. I had we actually I got a lot of information on this that I can go through. So let's actually take a step back. Well, what did you want to go over first?
Now, what I wish to go over first, uh, bringing us back to dysphoria, was explaining it from both a medical perspective and to offer a a psychological exercise per se that might be able to help people understand what it would feel like to have to live with that constantly.
All right, I like that. What's your example? What's
Okay.
what yeah, shoot.
All right. Okay, we'll go over this first. All right. So, as I said before, dysphoria is very important to talk about because the people who don't experience it often don't have a frame of reference. And the fact that they don't have a frame of reference is horribly devastating. I mean, extremely devastating. Going into more statistics, and not very nice ones here, the fact that dysphoria is not understood and the fact that dysphoria is so often dismissed as something minor is tragic, actually, because that is the number one cause of people ending their own lives when they're in their teenage years, at least among the transgender community. Dysphoria is devastating. It is horrible for your mind. It is horrible for your will to live. And the fact that it's dismissed so easily is also devastating because it cuts people off from support, from feeling as though they're understood and feeling as though they are seen, which is honestly one of the reasons that I started doing this in the first place. Not only to get information out of there, but to offer myself as support, to offer myself as somebody who sees you and who understands. I I feel passionately about this, and anybody I see dismissing dysphoria or dysmorphia out of hand are often immediately corrected by me, as much as I can, anyways. If they're just being a dick, I simply cut them out of my life because there's no helping them. They wish to hurt people. But for those of you who might not go through, oh, wait. I saw a comment earlier. I am not actually cis. I am pansexual and technically gender fluid. Uh, I don't know. I don't see myself as that, but I have kind of male and female versions of my persona that I like to go back and forth between just based on how I'm feeling at the time. So
I love that.
this isn't entirely from a cis perspective. I'm still definitely in the LGBT. Just I don't have feelings of dysphoria or dysmorphia with the trans community, but I do understand it both clinically and through various exercises that are applicable to me. I understand what it feels like, even if I don't understand what it feels like to be stuck with it. Sam was talking
So,
earlier about different. Oh, sorry.
oh no, no, continue.
Sam was talking earlier about what could be examples in a regular life to dealing with dysphoria. And one of the most common examples are if any of you have ever, say, for the males or male presenting, have you ever grown out a full beard and stuck with it for a long time and then shaved it? Or have you ever gotten a radically different haircut than what has been your normal for a long time. The first time you look into a mirror, how did that make you feel? I
That's
recently had
probably the best example I have heard ever.
I was recently reminded of this. Before this, I had been growing out a full milkman beard, actually, because I no longer had to shave it because I was no longer flying. I was working on a rig. But this new rig that I'm on right now, it's something called an H2S facility, which means that we have a buildup of a dangerous gas within the pipelines called H2S, which is hydrogen disulfide, or dihydrogen sulfide. Anyway, it is a mix of sulfur and hydrogen, and
I gotta pause you here real quick. Danny, you are not broken. Just because you don't understand yourself yet, just because you haven't found just how you feel or you don't have a name behind it doesn't mean that you're broken.
Annie,
Ju-
come on now.
you're a wonderful person. You're a fantastic being to have in anybody's life. It's gender, as one of my friends says quite often, gender is confusing. Right?
I would
It's
like to point out here my wife is not doesn't ascribe to being a female. What they actually prefer is non-binary, they thems, because they don't feel like one or the other gender. So Danny, if that's how you feel, if that's how you oscillate between, try looking into gender fluid or non-binary. Try looking into what those words mean and see if something in there resonates with you. Because I feel as though it would be a good descriptor for what the feelings you are describing.
and as I mentioned earlier, there's no time frame on it.
Oh no, not at all.
There's there's no there's no like strictly end. It's not like, oh, by the time I'm so and so age, I have to have this all figured out. Most people, by the time they're 100, don't have life figured out. All right, life is confusing. That's just the way life is. And I, girl, or sorry, you said you switch back and forth, back and forth. So I just jumped to one of them. But you don't know how much I understand what you're saying there. Why can't I just be a
Why can't I be a shapeshifter? Yes.
I
I
wish. Okay, I wish.
honestly,
Okay.
if that were an option, I would 100% take it. So,
Oh yeah, I feel I don't know if you've watched that. Do you watch anime at all, Foxy?
yes. Yes, I do.
All right. I can't remember the new Hell one. It's on. Let me find it real quick. Um, it's called Hell's Paradise. Have you seen it?
Yes. I.
All right.
It scares
I
me.
am jelly of those flower people, okay? Jelly of those flower people. They're just like wake up and they're like, I feel like being a woman today, and boom, done.
That would
That's
be
much jelly,
fantastic.
much
Honestly,
flower person.
honestly, like I said, I don't feel feelings of dysphoria, but when it comes to my online persona, it is something that I can very easily change. So sometimes when I feel like a girl, I switch over to my female persona. I even have an intersex persona in case I'm stuck in between somewhere.
Yeah, just feeling somewhere in the middle today. But yeah, you don't have to rush to figure yourself out. That's
It's
just
exactly.
it's life. Like, it's an adventure, and that's the way you should look at it. It's an adventure. All right? Like you're on a quest to find out who you really are, and sooner or later you're going to reach the end of that quest, and you're going to lock in with something that fits you, because each and every single one of you, each and every single one of us, we're our own specially cut diamond. Okay, every single one of us has our own cuts that make us beautiful the way we are. So take time and find out how those cuts need to be made to make you the best diamond you can be.
I just saw something in chat. The kitty is gender fluid meat. That's funny. Uh, yes. I guess technically yes. Uh, in real life, I could never actually pass as being female. I am extremely masculine and honestly comfortable with that. But for the persona that, well, I shouldn't call it a persona. That kind of sounds like it's fake. But my fursona is me, but I guess idealized as to what it could be in a perfect world. So yes, if I had the choice, I would absolutely be a shapeshifter and confuse the hell out of everybody on what I'm going to choose that
Oh yeah, for sure,
day.
1,000 times over.
But anyways, going back to what I was saying before, uh, Danny, I love you. You're wonderful. You're not broken. Mwah.
You were speaking on the chemical that comes up through your pipes.
Yes. I'm on an H2S rig right now, and what H2S is an extremely dangerous chemical that can cause you, uh, in large, well, actually not large, but in sufficient concentrations, it causes you to lose control of your body and fall unconscious within a couple of seconds of inhaling it. It attacks your central nervous system. So, because I was going to this H2S facility where a gas release would be able to very easily kill you, we have self-contained breathing apparatuses all around the facility, and a very sophisticated alarm system. I can see some of you already worried about the H2S thing. Let me let me reassure. I'm not actually in any danger because I'm very highly trained and because we are given sufficient safety equipment to, if our sophisticated sensor systems pick up a gas release, I can very easily hold my breath, get to an SCBA, and be perfectly fine. But that is besides the point. I tell you this because I had grown a full beard over the course of a year, and I liked the way I looked with that beard. But because I was going to this H2S facility, and because I needed to make sure that my mask seal was perfect, I wasn't able to keep my beard. So I had to shave it all off. And after so long of seeing my face with that beard, shaving it all off and then looking into the mirror was a feeling of profound disorientation. When I
I would
looked,
even go so far to say that was a dysphoria.
it was actually, yes. When I looked into the mirror, I did not recognize the person who was looking back at me. I did not. My mind did not believe that what my reflection was showing was actually me. It is. That is the feeling of dysphoria. Now, things like a haircut, things like shaving, they aren't always great examples because what they what those feelings entail is also in our minds correlated with, oh, I'll get used to it eventually and these feelings will go away. And that's where the failing happens. That's where the failure to understand happens between a dysphoric episode like what I described and what actual dysphoria is. Dysphoria, it doesn't go away. It doesn't ever go away until something changes, until you convince your mind that what is looking back at you is a real person. So, the exercise I wanted to try today, for those of you who have never experienced dysphoria, is that I want you to imagine and really truly try to imagine this. That every time you look into a mirror, it showed you a different form. It showed you a person looking back at you who you know is not you. But nobody else can see this reflection. Anytime you point it out, all they will say is, that's you. But every time you look into a mirror, you know it's not. That person staring back at you, that's not you. I want you to imagine the kind of disconnect that would make you feel. Eventually, you'd start feeling like you weren't an actual person, weren't you? Over time, with so many people telling you that you are something that you're not, that you know you're not, wouldn't you start to feel fake? Hollow? Wouldn't you start to feel,
I love that point.
wouldn't you start to feel like something is profoundly wrong and you're the only one who can see it? That is what dysphoria is. It is a constant, terrible schism in the mind between what you are shown to be and what you are.
I have to say that okay, and it's gonna sound odd, but I knew that, and I know for sure now that you were the right person to actually have this conversation with on this stream, because like this is something that I've went through, and that was the most profound and on point explanation of what I went through before having my surgery. Like I had this idea in my head of what I should look like, of what I should be, but every time I looked at myself, it wasn't it. It wasn't what I was going for, and I still it caused that disconnect that you were talking of like feeling like I'm not real, and it pushed me to a point that like, and a point I'm still trying to get over, by the way. This is years later, this is years after the surgery,
Of
but
course.
it pushed me to the point of am I real? Am I here to be tortured? Am I am I in this made up world just to deal with this, with what I'm seeing, with this heart-wrenching thing that I have to deal with on a daily basis? It really, the way you described um how it feels to be transgender, how it feels to um have those emotions inside you was possibly the most on point example that I couldn't describe it myself that good.
Well,
And
thank you,
it
actually.
was it was no it was fantastic. It was actually a flawless example of how I felt, because you're right. You're right all the way across the board. Every day I was waking up and looking into the mirror, and I just saw something that I couldn't believe was me, and it made me feel fake. It made me feel like I wasn't real. It made me feel disgusted with myself, and the way I fixed that was the surgery. That surgery was a turning point When I and don't get me wrong, that surgery was the most painful thing I've ever went through, and I'm letting you guys know that if you go through the surgery, it is literally the most painful thing that I've ever went through in my life, but worth every second of it. When I sat down on that table to have that surgery, I was completely and utterly relieved, but at that same point in time, and this is kind of sad when it comes down to it, but I'm just explaining how I felt in the moment. I was okay with dying on that table,
Um,
as long as I was a female by the time I died. I was okay with dying on that table. So waking up and having this experience to where I could feel like myself. I could be myself.
it's kind of like an isekai, isn't it? You wake up in a different world in a
It
different
really
body.
is. It was. I had all of this weight lifted off my shoulder. The HRT really helped me with my rage because I had almost this overbearing amount of testosterone running through my body, and I couldn't control my rage, which is actually my avatar is supposed to um, is kind of a display on um, of me. Like um, the green in my eye stands for lust, and the red in my eye stands for wrath. Just little bits and pieces of what I dealt with in life leading up to that point. But once I woke up from that, once I realized that, all it's going to take is a little bit more healing and I'm there, like so much pressure, so much years of my heart wrenching of looking at myself in the mirror and not believing that's who was there, just instantly got lifted off my shoulders. And though it was painful, in my eyes it was worth every second spent doing it, every second spent heading towards that destination, because I finally got that feeling of being able to. And like it's something that, like, I don't think that, like, and you understand, and I know you understand, but I don't think the relief that I felt from it can be really well described, because
No, it can't
it's
be
it's something
because it's
so many
something.
other people take for granted, like being able to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and go, "That's me. I'm okay with that. That's awesome." You
Yes,
know, brush your my hair looks good like that, and not just look into the mirror and see this disgusting piece of filth. It really changed my life in ways that I never imagined were possible, and it's led me down such a fantastic road of meeting new people, and being able to control my anger, and calm myself, and open up and express to other people. It's just absolutely beautiful what it did to me. So I really love the way you explained that, because it really did, like, it embodied the journey that I had throughout, like, my teenage to, like, young adult years of trying to figure out who I was and not understanding why I wasn't them.
that's wonderful, and I'm glad to know that I was able to articulate it as well as I was. Like I said, I'm explaining this from a limited perspective, so to know that I hit the mark correctly is very it's very nice. And I wanted to kind of reiterate a previous point here. What I just described is exactly the reason why it's so important to understand this, and why it's so important not to ignore somebody when they say, "This is how I feel." This is the biggest failing that we as a society have right now, is that we don't believe somebody when they tell us who they are. We believe what we see as who they are. Now, sometimes that can go awry, correct? Somebody can say they're not a criminal. Somebody can say they're not a murderer and then murder you. I'm not talking about that, obviously. I'm talking talking about listening when somebody tells you who they are as a person. If somebody tells you they're not male, if somebody tells you that they are female and they look male, they have a full beard, they look masculine as hell, guess what? I'm sorry, ma'am. You are correct. You are a very pretty girl. It's as simple as that. So many people take it as an offense. Oh, you can't tell me you're this. I see that you're that. Why is your perspective on who this person is more valuable than what their perspective is? You are not the arbiter of what is real. Everybody, every single person has the right to choose and the right to tell you who they are. Some of that isn't a choice. Being trans isn't a choice. Being gay, being bi, isn't a choice. Denying that is simply denying that they are a person, period. And that is an unacceptable violation. Listen to people when they tell you who they are, no matter what your eyes tell you. And if you
I
do
love that.
that, you might just save a life. Because so many suffer in silence, being gaslit by reality itself, until they just simply choose to end it. Silently and with nobody listening. And that is another unacceptable violation. Sorry, that got
Uh,
a little deep, but
no,
this is
no,
something
no,
I
no,
feel
no, no. That was beautiful. That was you don't even need to apologize. I was actually waiting for you to finish talking before I interrupted you because okay, I don't know if anyone's told you this today, Foxy. I might have. I don't know. But you're a very beautiful person. You are absolutely fantastic. Such a wonderful soul, and I appreciate and not just a wonderful soul. You're a wonderful soul who works towards what they want. Like the fact that you are so not only understanding of the world around you, but willing to put the time in to understand what you don't understand to get a better understanding is one of the most beautiful things that I have ever seen in anybody. It's absolutely astonishing, and you're such a beautiful person for that. It's so fantastic.
my chosen name is Sync, and that wasn't an accident. I like to, it's my philosophy to synchronize, to understand, to try to put myself in the shoes of people who may be extremely different from myself so that I can understand them. So even I appreciate you saying that, I really do. And it's very kind. That's my stated goal from the name up is
Well,
to synchronize.
you're doing such a fantastic job. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better person to like be able to talk back and forth with this because you're just such a understanding and beautiful soul to be able to give yourself and your love so freely to those around you just so they can have a safe space, just so they can have um a better place, a place where they can feel comfortable. It's just absolutely stunning. So like I wanted to tell you that because you're perfect, absolutely
Oh,
perfect.
well, thank you. And I just wanted to make one more point. Um, there has been a recent study that was done that I felt would be good to pick up here. And what the topic of the study was the use of VR technology when it comes to gender affirming care. And they had several very interesting conclusions. And interestingly enough, not from the trans people who were being studied. but from the control cis group. And this is kind of the reason I wanted to bring it up. The trans people, they don't they don't need this. The the results of the results of the VR, the virtual reality study, were, you could say, mixed when it came to the trans side, but they uncovered several very interesting key points when it came to their control cis group. And what those points are is that they can show cis people what dysphoria feels like in real time, which I think is extremely important.
It's valuable,
So,
valuable information.
yes, there was a statement from one of the people. He has no previous history of a mental, I guess I shouldn't say a mental illness, but he has no previous history of dysphoria, is comfortable in his gender. What they did was they put him in virtual reality and they put him into a female avatar. And his statement was extremely telling because what he said was, every time I looked in a mirror, I flinched. Because every time I was expecting to see me, and it wasn't. He said that was the most uncomfortable feeling I've ever had. And when the scientist explained to them that this is the literal definition of dysphoria, and this is all secondhand, basically secondhand information written down aside from the study. But when they explained to them that what he was feeling when he was looking into that mirror and expecting to see himself and then not seeing that, seeing somebody else who he believes is fake but is a representation of himself, when he was told that that's the literal definition of what dysphoria was, he got really wide-eyed and he started crying. And the reason he started crying was because he was part of an anti-trans group, and suddenly he fucking understood. He said, "Oh my god, what the fuck have I been doing to people?" Uh, I'm not. I find it hard to forgive somebody who is part of a hate group, but the fact that he understood and reacted that way, the fact that he took that information, took that feeling, and then when he was told this is how trans people feel all the time, he felt a great amount of remorse for that. It's important. It is extremely important.
See, I agree with I agree with with that a lot, and I have trouble forgiving and forgetting too. And I know where you're coming from with that. Like, it's hard, just especially when somebody has dished out so much hate. It's so hard just to readily forgive somebody. But sometimes it takes things just like what you described. Sometimes it takes those events in order to show somebody their wrongdoing. And if after, is assuming that they didn't go out of their way to hurt people, like beat them down or kill people, because that's just unforgivable. I'm just saying it's unforgivable. But it sometimes takes those pushes in order to show somebody that life isn't all.
Life isn't as you experience for everybody else around you.
Yeah, exactly.
You are not the sole arbiter of what reality is, and that is something a lot of people struggle with.
It's good that they're getting that. They can show that, because I've like I said earlier, I've spent so long. I do a lot of what I do in trying to make a safe space, because I didn't have a safe space. Like, yeah, yes, my parents were a good safe space, but outside of them, it wasn't safe, right?
Yes.
Like, Like they gave me a home turf to work with that made me feel safe at home, but in the outer world is a whole bunch of bullying and people jumping to conclusions before they could fully understand anything that was going on. So the fact that there's a way to really really help people understand, like you were saying, is momentous, because it really shows people that, like, like I said, it's not all just black and white. Sometimes there's colors splashed in there, and you just don't know because you never bothered to look.
Exactly. And I brought up that study, VR chat, stuff like that. It can be helpful for feelings of dysphoria because you can simply make your avatar look like whatever you would like. And while it might not be a cure, it can certainly give a reprieve from the constant feelings of dysphoria. But what I think is equally as important about this new realm that we've created when it comes to virtual reality is also the opportunity for you to look at things from a different perspective. So, I guess what I'm trying to encourage here is that if you're in virtual reality, if you are curious, if you want to actually feel like what it might be to have to live with dysphoria, make yourself into an avatar that is the complete opposite of who you are, and then take a look at yourself. Live in it for a little while. Let that feeling of disconnect grow in your mind. For you, it's temporary. You can lift off the VR helmet and you can be perfectly right again. But experiencing that feeling, that disconnect, that mental schism, and then imagining that you can never get rid of that, that is an important, extremely vital thing for people to understand. This is how they feel all the time. They can't escape it without doing something radical. So I'm trying to offer a differing perspective. I'm trying to offer an opportunity for you to experience this so that you can understand it greater. Because words are easy to say. Sam said my description was pretty on point, but they're still just words being spoken to you. They don't let you experience this. They don't let you figure out what it actually feels like. And then to extrapolate from there, like, what if I never get to feel anything different? What if I always feel this way? That's that's important. If you keep that in mind, you will be able to understand the kind of pain that they're going through and hopefully be a little kinder to people. Always
I
make
love
sure that your arms are a safe space. Make sure you understand the pain of others so that you can help soothe it.
that. All right, so I'm going to flip the script real quick.
Okay.
we're gonna
I'm done with that
we're
point.
we're gonna flip it a little bit. We're almost to the 2 hour mark, and there's some stuff I wanted to go over, and I know there's some extra stuff you would like to go over too.
Oh,
Um,
yes. Sorry.
and hey, you don't apologize. No, don't never apologize. You have said some of those like real and profound things that I have heard. I honestly I've gone up to this point in my life, like there's only a handful of people uh, who I have met throughout my life uh, who can understand me and understand the plight that I've been through as well as you have explained it here today. So I appreciate you as a whole. Like in general, it's been a absolutely beautiful talk. So don't you dare apologize for sharing your knowledge on the matter, because it's all in to help people take that step forward past themselves to understand and make a safer space, not just for me, not just for them in the chat, but for everybody. Like, and it's
Oh,
wonderful.
hold on. Danny. Sorry, that was a concerning comment. Danny. Danny says, I'm partly trying to disconnect from this conversation since it's hitting me in places I don't like, with the whole what if I always feel like this. So I'm trying to disconnect now. I, that wasn't the purpose of this. And the fact that that hit you so hard, I am so very sorry. I did not mean to hit a sore spot, but unfortunately, it is a risk whenever we're talking about these mental health type things. I understand if you need to step back. I do.
And Danny, I would also like to point out that if and correct me if I'm wrong. All right, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't try to push people anywhere. I don't try to push people forward. I like people to take their own steps. But if it hits you in your heart, then eh, maybe I know it's uncomfortable, but maybe you need to be here. Maybe you need to hear about these things, because it might help you understand yourself more. It might help you grow and head towards that destination. Because Danny, I know you feel that way. I know you feel that, like, what if I always feel this way? I can promise you, from somebody who's went through it, there's ways to stop it from always feeling that way.
Oh, yes.
There's ways to fix that feeling. And that's what we're here talking about today. The ways to make yourself better, the way to fix your heart, and for everybody who doesn't need to fix themselves, for everyone who isn't feeling this feeling, ways to open up their arms to help those in need of this feeling.
no,
No,
Danny.
no,
Stop
Danny,
saying.
Danny,
Stop
you're
saying
you
that
are
you're being too
perfectly
sensitive.
fine. You are perfectly fine. Actually, I love that you're saying these things, because you're you're expressing what we are here to help with.
Yes, the purpose of that entire segment I just did was trying to help with understanding, and I do understand that it hit a sensitive spot, but I believe it also is an indication that my words are true and they ring true with you, which means that my understanding is
It's
complete,
on point. It's beyond on point, actually.
but
But like I said, there's
it should also tell you that this is a safe place because you are understood. And the point of this wasn't that those feelings that there will always be true are correct. The point of this is that those feelings are not true.
and
That is the
Danny,
entire point of the stream.
Danny, I see what you said there, and pretending can only take you so far. You have to search out for the help, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about next. Coming up, like, here in one moment, we're actually going to be talking about the steps that you can take to further yourself into these programs, to help find out who you really are, and to get you help for understanding these feelings and dealing with these feelings, because it's not just about having them as much as managing them.
Yes, that is absolutely true. There is no This isn't a broken arm, unfortunately. You can't put a cast on it and have it heal back into the correct position. It takes management, it takes time, it takes support. And pretending that you're okay, it's kind of like keeping a bandage over a wound that's starting to get infected. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean the infection's not spreading and getting worse.
And the more you keep it inside, the more. And take this from me. Take this from somebody who dealt with this for years. The more you keep it inside, the more you deny that you need help. No, sweetheart, don't you dare apologize. You are an absolutely wonderful being, and you wouldn't. Life is funny, and in my personal belief, this is just my belief, but in my personal belief, everything happens for a reason, and you wouldn't have found yourself here. You wouldn't have found yourself in this stream. You wouldn't have found yourself expressing yourself to us during this if
If you hadn't
if
felt safe
you
to.
weren't meant to be here. If you didn't feel safe. I appreciate you for being here.
It's okay. Alright, Danny, we'll stop talking about you specifically, okay? But I want you to know that you are
He's
loved.
lots ahead.
You...
Where's my hand? I need to give pets. I think I need a smaller hand. Excuse me.
Danny, you're loved very much, and you are more than welcome to speak here. You're safe here, and we do understand. Okay?
Trying to get it small. All right, wait. Petting the Danny.
Oh, hello,
Petting the
Money.
Danny.
Money Sierra. Money. How do
Money
you.
Sierra.
Money Sierra. Yes. Okay. Money Sierra. Hello there. Thank you for coming to our stream. We're so happy to have you. All right.
So those things I wanted to get towards
Yes.
because
Let's go towards that.
um, give me 1 second. All right, so these are the things actually we were just talking about.
Oh, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it, Money Sierra. You're wonderful. You're welcome here.
So where you need to start, right? Okay, let's say you're at the beginning of the story, right? You're at the very beginning. You're the fool in the tarot card deck, right? Like you don't know nothing. You're just trying to make your way across your life. There's something you know about yourself. You're trying to figure yourself out. The first step you need to take is you need to actually go and find yourself a counselor, a therapist, or a psychologist.
Oh,
You need to
gods,
find an
yes.
LGBTQ friendly counselor, a therapist, or psychologist, and they need to be LGBTQ friendly. And the reason why I'm suggesting this is because they will help you, like we were just saying a second ago, manage and help you with your emotions. They're going to explain what's going on, much like Foxy did. They're going to help you manage this, and through them, through a counselor, through a therapist, through a psychologist, they can suggest you to an LGBTQ friendly doctor and or an LGBTQ friendly Planned Parenthood. That is where you can start your journey on HRT if you want to start on HRT.
And I do want to add on here that going to see a counselor or a psychiatrist, so very often in this. Yes, King, you did give a lot of love and support, and I appreciate it. I hope you have a good
Good job.
day. Going to a counselor or psychologist so often carries a stigma, and many people. It's kind of like going to see a medical doctor, right? You go and see a doctor if you're hurt or if you're sick. You go and see a doctor because you have a specific injury. But even people. The same doesn't apply to a psychiatrist. There doesn't have to be an injury you can point to and says this is what's wrong with me. Fix it. That's not how psychiatry works, but so often the stigma is that I can't go to a counselor, I can't go to a psychologist because I don't know what's wrong with me. That is a very deep misconception that keeps a lot of people from seeking psychological care. Even if there is nothing wrong with you at all, going to talk with a psychiatrist has often been noted as being an extremely helpful thing to do because that psychiatrist will help to guide you to see problems that you haven't seen in yourself. Because looking at yourself from a first person perspective is only it's only of limited use, and so many times things that you think aren't a problem can end up being a problem that are actually hurting you. And a psychiatrist will help you to identify that problem. That's why I say in a lot of my videos, you can't start healing, you can't start fixing a problem until you understand what the problem is itself. And going to a psychiatrist and talking with them can help you identify what a problem is so that you can begin taking those steps to correct it.
And perfect points. Like it helped me a lot along my journey. It really did. I am not a big fan of going to the therapist because there's been there are very few who could help me because I at first I like I said I was alone by myself in this journey at first. So I was just going to a therapist, not like a targeted therapist,
Oh,
because believe it or not, just like just like doctors have their own fields, like dentistry or chiropractic or everything like that. Just like doctors have their own fields, therapists also have their own fields and things that they like specifically know about.
yes, that
And
is a very important point. They have their specialties, they have their things that they learn the most about, and the things that they know the most about treating. So going to a wrong
so
psychiatrist, it's not a one and done thing. You might go to a
yeah,
psychiatrist and say to yourself, "Oh, well, this isn't a fit. Don't be afraid to go find another one."
yeah, don't be afraid to go find another one because that's what I had to do later on because the first one I went through it was just a whole bunch of like yes I already know I'm depressed I'm angry at the world, thank you. So now
Correct.
how do I fix it? Like but um though they really helped out and they actually got me started on my journey because when you're dealing especially with a psychologist, especially with a psychologist, they can give you a letter of recommendation once they fully understand your problem and your plight, to start on HRT. And
Yes.
because we're talking specifically about gender dysphoria today, and I know we've went off on different dysphorias and stuff like that as we went, but because we're talking about specifically gender dysphoria today, that's why I'm going with the HRT. Now, I'm gonna start getting into stuff. All right, stuff I've went through, stuff to explain that what you're going through. I'm going to assume you don't have to go on the full journey. All right, so before I get into this, don't think that I'm like targeting you and telling you you have to do this. This is the way, right? At
No,
any point in time,
this
you
is
can
Sam's story. This is what Sam went through. And
yeah, at any point in time you can step off the train. All right, you don't have to get the bottom surgery. You don't have to. Yeah, you can choose how far it is for you. That's what's so special about being trans. It's about making yourself feel better, making yourself feel at more at home in your own body. So once you feel at home, you don't have to finish the journey because you did. Your journey may have ended earlier than somebody else's, but as long as you feel comfortable in your own body, that's the important part. So
very true.
after and this is just like bits and pieces, like these are just things I had to go through. after visiting a counselor, therapist, or psychologist, this was me. Um, I got started on HRT, and I actually got started through a Planned Parenthood. And the reason I went through a Planned Parenthood is because the therapists weren't working for me specifically. I didn't have somebody in the background or somebody to help me walk through this to understand what was going on. I didn't know there was different types of psychologists at the time, so I was just lost. So I was like, I'm explaining this problem to all these people, and I'm paying all these people to help me with my problem, and nobody's helping me. So I ended up going to a Planned Parenthood. And a special thing about a Planned Parenthood, um, being trans, is 90%. I'm going to say 90 because there's always people with hate in their heart for some reason. 90% of Planned Parenthoods are LGBTQ friendly. And
Yes.
because they're LGBTQ friendly, a Planned Parenthood can actually get you started on HRT. And they don't need a letter of recommendation to do it.
Yes.
So,
That is a good
so
point that I'd like to bring up. So many people have misconceptions about what Planned Parenthood actually does, mostly due to media focusing on that single thing that everybody's so pissed off about. That's medically necessary, but we're not going to go into that today. A Planned Parenthood is not simply for pregnancy. It is a directory of sorts. It is a place, many of which are LGBTQ not only friendly but specialized in order to help with problems related to that community. Going there, even if you don't seek treatment from them, going there can be a great place to figure out where to go. They're a great signboard. They know the places, they know the resources, they know where you can go, they know who's specialized. Going to talk to the Planned Parenthood people, it's there's so much more than pregnancy care. There's so much more than what the media likes to focus on.
and Wolf, a Planned Parenthood is um, it's a center for how can I how
It
Foxy,
is
can
a
you explain
medical.
this away that that's not gonna piss off the masses?
Well, I believe that Luna might not be an American, so they just might not know what Planned Parenthood is in
Okay,
general. Never heard
it's
Planned
a
Parenthood.
doctor.
It's a
It's
center.
a doctor that specializes on taking care of pregnant women and LGBTQ people.
Basically, yes.
Sexual health.
What Bella says. Section. They focus on treatments for sexual health, which includes gender issues or sexual dysfunction, and all through all stages of pregnancy, support in that care, and as well as just being a general resource when it comes to both mental and physical health.
Now, you can also visit your main doctor. That is also an option, and I believe they might need a letter of recommendation from a psychologist. I'm not 100% sure since I went through Planned Parenthood, but I believe you might need a letter of recommendation from a psychologist to go visit your main doctor and get started on HRT. Um,
That kind of depends
and
on insurance companies, which I despise, as well as the doctor's own policy and whether or not they wish to take on that liability. It's very individualized, so whether or not your doctor requires something is just something you're going to have to ask them because it varies wildly.
things. Now I'm gonna take a little sidebar here and explain things that you're going to experience. Because if you're to the point of being on HRT, there's a certain list of things that you are going to experience that that are just unavoidable, right? Once you start taking the pill or the shots, I take the shots because I'm not responsible with pills, like at all. I'm like, did I take one today? Fuck it, let's take another one. so I started taking the shots because it's once a week, and I can remember once a week. Whether or not I've taken a pill today or not is just like,
Oh
if I
god.
don't take it, I'm in trouble. If I do take it, I'm in trouble.
Luna
So,
says every time I hear the health system you use, it makes me angry and sad. Just look, we're angry and sad
so
about it too. Don't get me
we're
started on
angry
this.
and sad about it.
I
Yeah, yeah,
could rant for fucking
it's a long
hours
road.
about how much I
Honestly,
hate our system, but
if we could break it down and rebuild it, that would be beautiful. But unfortunately, people have money and a lot of it, and it's easier to. You know what? That's just where I'm gonna stop that one. But
yes, like I said, I could rant for hours about the
oh yeah,
stupidity of our system, but
oh yeah,
let me just say that we are
it's
angry
real.
and sad about it too, and we would
Yes, it
change
is
it if
very
we
sad.
could.
Um, but for and I'm gonna say MTF and FTM. What that stands for is male to female, and FTM is female to male. Um, if you're starting on HRT and you are going male to female, they're going to put you on estrogen hormone replacement treatment, which it would be like EHRT, right? So that's what I started out on. And when I started out on that, the things that I experienced is number one, off the front, mood swings. All right, I suddenly had all of the rage of a pregnant woman and all of the cravings to come with it. There was like some weird things that I was eating consistently. I don't know if you've ever dipped a pickle into peanut butter, but it's great. But
Medically speaking, to add to this, this is caused by the increase of estrogen alongside the testosterone already in the male system. The
yes,
reason you the reason you have the cravings is because when a woman gets pregnant, their testosterone actually increases as well, and it causes a lot of the same weird cravings that pregnancy would have.
yeah. So I had all of the weirdest cravings in the world. Just I was munching down, and it was honestly it helped suppress the rage. But you know, you're gonna deal with other things along the line of boobs growing. Boobs growing is different for everyone. I got lucky. All right. I feel like I got lucky in a lot of stuff during this transition. I ended up with D's. Some people end up with A's. Some people end up with B's. Some people see barely any change at all. It really just depends on your genetics,
Wow,
and
that's
there's no
actually
helping that. It just lands on you.
that is actually extremely unusual. Most of the time, breast
Uh-huh.
tissue growth stops around a B cup for the average person.
Yep.
Low B to high A is where the average is. So the fact that you ended up with D's is kind of impressive, actually. The estrogen really took to
36
you.
D's. Yo, yeah, it took me real well. 36D. But um yeah, I'm going to use a roundabout terms here. Haven't got the mood swings yet. Make sure that you're on the right amount, and I'm gonna throw that over to Draken real quick because make sure you're on the right amount. I will explain why later because it was a problem that I dealt with after my surgery. Right? 42C, getting close to D. Nice.
Nice.
Um, so you're gonna deal being again male to female. You're gonna deal with. I'm gonna call it a member. All right. We're gonna call it a member. I'm talking about. I'm gonna say
Member.
it
That's
once. I'm gonna say it once, and I'm not gonna say it again.
that's such a
I'm gonna say
romance.
member.
That's such a romance novel term.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm talking about the deck.
Yes.
Like so, well, I'm saying I can't help it. I role play a ton, right? I could have called it a shaft or a member or the love stick.
His hardness.
It's hardness. But you're gonna deal with member shrinkage. It is going to get smaller. Um, and this this is because you don't have so much testosterone pumping through you. All right, it is going to get smaller. you're going to be more emotional and less brawn. Like when I say this, men tend to have and it's something I dealt with for a while, a disconnect,
Yes.
right? Like where you see men get angry, women will cry. And that disconnect is like it's kind of hardwired in your hormones to where the at a
Uh-huh.
certain point the sadness doesn't you just don't feel it. But the more estrogen you take, the more it integrates into your system, the more emotions you feel. You become more okay with crying. You become more okay with sharing the things that make you upset over just stewing and being angry about it, right? Because
Now,
I see a lot of people do that.
all of this isn't strictly hormonal. This is also societal conditioning in what the traditional gender roles are supposed to be. And that is also unfortunately hardwired into us simply because we were raised with it from birth.
Yes, fully agree. Another thing that you're going to experience, and something that I'm still experiencing, and why I'm going and working out so often, you get weaker. Many people don't realize this, but testosterone is the reason you are so big and brawny. It is the reason that you have so much muscle mass.
This is actually a good point because Draken Hunter actually. Okay, so I'm building on your point, but this is
Go ahead.
a story. Uh, Draken Hunter had come over to help my wife with building a bed, and the ability, her ability to lift an object above her head was uh, very lacking, and Pixie was wondering why that was, and I'm like, well, Draken Hunter is about in the 6 to 1 year mark. That's about when the physical muscles get the weakest, and HRT, when that happens, around the 6 month to a year mark, you may find that you are extremely weak physically. And that is because your body is making the full change from testosterone to estrogen. Your testosterone is basically non existent. Your body is flooded with estrogen, and that is the period of the greatest amount of physical weakness. So it's only to be expected. If you experience that, it is actually a natural course.
And then on that, with that weakness, benefits come though. When you start hitting that, I don't know the time period exactly like that. I wish I knew exactly what that time period was you were saying. But uh, with that weakness, you actually get some benefits. You actually, because your estrogen is more flooding your body begins to create more feminine features. You get better hair growth. Unfortunately, and this is a lot of people expect their voice to get higher. Your voice does not get higher. Um, it is not a thing. I went through the whole process. I wish I already had a sing-songy voice and kind of a girly voice to begin with. And I feel like I caught myself pretty early when it came into starting on the HRT and everything, but the voice does not get higher.
Yes, that is a
That being
common
said,
misconception. Let me pause for just Kawasaki.
yeah, no,
Hi.
take
I realize you would like to be praised. You weren't here at the beginning, but we're doing a special stream today where we're doing a mental health stream, and I have my guest here. So we can't be pausing for praises outside of when we take a break, okay? So we're gonna refund that back to you so that you don't lose the channel points. I can't do the praise right now, but I am so very happy that you're here, and I'm happy to see you. Okay.
You're so wonderful, Kawasaki. You're wonderful. I'll give a little bit of praise.
Well, thank you.
Hey, welcome, welcome. And you get to keep the points.
Yes.
um, a next thing that you're going to experience, and is what I'm focusing on right now. Yes, only female to male has the voice change, but we'll get to that here in a second. Um, you start to experience body fat moving. All right, little known to most people, but body fat is actually very based on hormones. So where the body fat collides in your body, where it collects, is very dependent on what your hormones are telling it to do. So
Yeah,
now
it's
that you're
it's fine, Kawasaki. I promise. I was just
well,
explaining it to you.
once your body starts to acclimate and get all that estrogen running into the system, from male to female, like belly fat, side fat, stuff like that start to move more towards the butt and rump area, and more towards like the breast area. You start forming towards the areas and getting kind of the curves that you're aiming for. That's not saying you don't have to work for those curves. I'm just saying I work out a lot. It's you have to work out for them curves, but
Yes.
you start to get
And
the
Sam brings
body
up
fat
a
begins to move.
Sam brings up a good point that I didn't think about before, but she is completely correct that the placement of body fat and where you actually carry your extra weight is very highly dependent on what hormones you have. So the like Draken said, experiencing severe chest pain, that the movement of the body fat might be noticeable, especially when it comes to breast tissue growth, and it may be very uncomfortable.
And the last thing I have to mention is, and this is gonna sound weird off the front, but I'm gonna explain it. Skin change.
Oh yes,
Men are kind of naturally gruff, right? They're naturally rough, and women's skin is very very soft, very supple.
we're
And
rugged.
yes, having estrogen running through your body actually makes your skin a lot more soft, a lot more supple, and everything like that. Now, there's ways to further that, but I wouldn't suggest it as of yet because I'm still doing studying on it myself. Um, I heard a lot of people telling me that I can make my skin more supple and soft by using like shea butter, but I've also been hearing people talk about how like they're like, when they're using a lot of shea butter, they're getting like skin rashes and stuff like that. So I don't want to suggest it to people before I test it myself and or know more about it. So I'm
Actually,
not going to
I can
suggest
answer
that.
that one medically. Shea
Yee.
shea butter itself, when it's used as a skincare product, and it's a very popular thing to use shea butter for a skincare product. However, it's not a good idea to use shea butter on its own, simply because shea butter also draws the moisture away from your skin, which causes skin rash, skin flaking, and things like that. So while shea butter is good for you, it's also very highly recommended that you use a moisturizing lotion along with it so that you can keep your skin from dehydrating and flaking off while also making it soft and supple.
Shea butter or shea butter is a
Shea is how it's spelled. It's shea butter.
it's basically a lotion of sorts that just makes your skin softer. It's supposed to be good for you, but they tell you everything's good for you nowadays. So
Well, the important thing here is that there are a lot of skincare routines out there that are pushed by a lot of people, and many of them are scams. So
yeah,
just
exactly.
be careful and
My mom's actually I would call her like a botanist slash herbalist. She says coconut oil, olive oil, and real cocoa butter.
but then I'll just eat it.
Like you're like that sounds like a cake.
I know that sounds tasty. Although, I mean, if you like that kind of thing, that'd probably make you more likely to be licked.
um,
Sorry.
No, I didn't get to go through these, right? This one's female to male. I looked these up separate just in case there's anybody in the crowd, because I find that, and this isn't completely real, because I know quite a few trans people who are female to male, but I know a lot more male to females. Um,
Yes,
and,
that's
and I don't know if that's a statistic or anything like that, but I have only met in my life like three female to males, and I've met a lot more male to females.
dysphoria is actually more common in males than it is females by a ratio of about. The last statistic I saw was 65% to 35%. So you are
All right,
correct.
so let's see, and that's just from what I've met. You know, I could just be like meeting, being or hanging around the wrong crowds and not being able to meet them. But
Well, you
this
also have to
this
take that with a
testosterone.
grain of salt because female reporting of health issues is notoriously unreliable simply because it's not the fault of the females alone, but this is a big problem in the medical community where many times the female side of medical conditions is often ignored or misdiagnosed as something else. It's a an
Yeah,
unconscious bias. So take that. Right now,
that's
the
that's been
studies,
going on for centuries.
yeah, right now the studies show that the ratio of male to female and female to male is 65% to 35% for the male to female route. However, that could be a misreported number. So take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, sorry.
Congratulations.
Oh,
I was incorrect.
Kawasaki's getting his
Like
license on
Kawasaki.
Tuesday, or her license on Tuesday. Good job, Kawasaki. I'm so proud of you.
So the female to male, as Draken mentioned earlier, the voice lowers. Doesn't go the opposite way. I wish. Doesn't. you know. Yeah,
Bio-
but it doesn't go the
biologically,
opposite way.
biologically, there is a reason for that, and that's because the females have gone through a female adolescence where their body has developed under the influence of estrogen, and males have gone through adolescence going through the transition for male. And unfortunately, those structures are largely permanent. However, in order to produce a lower register of a voice, it requires tightening of the or requires kind of rigid vocal cords, which don't loosen up later on in life. However, female to male, it causes, when you're taking testosterone, it causes a tightening of the vocal cords. And yeah, that's the reason why their voice can go down lower, is because their vocal cords tighten and bring them down into a lower register. But
But
it,
yes,
yes,
does work. Female to male does not work male to female.
yes,
You
unfortunately.
get increased, much like the opposite, where the male to female was getting weaker, the female to male gets stronger because testosterone, and it's a bodybuilding hormone. It will build the muscle and it will build it quickly. So
I'm not sure if many people know this, but when you hear about anabolic steroids, about people taking steroids for muscle growth, what that actually is isn't actually a steroid. It is that they are over injecting themselves with testosterone because testosterone causes muscle growth.
yep, yep, that's where a lot of bodybuilders go. Oh, and then the opposite hormone can sometimes help build too. Like
Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Mr. Axo Bucket. I appreciate it. Welcome.
the next thing is going to be body hair growth. All right. So normally, as a female, you don't get much body hair growth. As soon as you start taking testosterone, you're gonna get it's gonna be all over. All right. It's gonna be everywhere on your face, pits, sometimes chest. You're gonna get a lot of body hair. That's just how it works. Testosterone is a hell of a thing. It is going to change your body a lot. Um,
Oh,
but
Well, thank you for so much for the follow.
Thank you for following me too, Mr. Axo Bucket. You're wonderful.
Oh, there was another one. I don't know how to pronounce that name. But yes, you are welcome here too, and thank you so much for the follow.
And Balheed! Hi, Balheed! What's going on?
Oh,
They said that, yeah, they
Balheed,
said they
okay.
really wanted to be a part of this stream because they're is they were dealing with some issues all the same. We were actually talking during a Destiny stream 2 days ago. While I was streaming, they stopped in and we were having ourselves a nice conversation. I was actually mentioning about this stream because we were going to be having this mental health stream today. Um,
Well, this is not going to be. Aw, thank you so much for the pennies. This is not going to be a one time thing. This is going to be on different mental health topics. So, this first time, this is our introduction, me and Sam launching this little project together. But this will not be the only time, and we will
Oh
be.
no, there's gonna be much more. We're gonna go over so many different ones. Our goal here is to help people understand issues and to help heal them or help people find ways to heal themselves.
Yes, and a big part of that is including people who have differing perspectives and who might be struggling with the current topic or have struggled before so that we can get their personal feedback. Like Sam's feedback here is has been monumentally wonderful because it's from a first person's perspective. This is a subjective report about what happened and it's incredibly valuable next to clinical data, which is kind of what I'm all about.
Yeah, and see that's why I love having Foxy here because I experienced all of this, and Foxy has like the know about of how it works within the brain and all of the medical knowledge standing behind it, along with their wonderful soul that they have on them. Fantastic. They're so good at what they do. Fantastic.
Should make it into a podcast. You know, I've never actually understood what the difference between a podcast and a stream is.
Podcasts are done kind of alone, right? So you do the podcast alone, and then you post it out to a podcast would be more like YouTube, to
Oh, I
where
see.
like you're
It's kind of like
so
a pre-recorded video.
yeah pre-recorded and then posted to where Twitch where we're live right now doing everything. So
Oh, I see. Okay,
some podcasts can be live, but not very many are.
gotcha.
The next thing you're going to, and I'm going to use weird terms again. All right, I just don't want to get too vulgar on this stream because this is important to me, and I feel like vulgarity can throw some people off and like run them away. I tend to be kind of vulgar myself. I speak like a sailor, so I'm being a good noodle today.
I
Um,
mean, I have, I still have this labeled as a plus 18, so it shouldn't be too bad.
and I also have mine labeled as 18. I hope, but I think.
Oh, hello, Tabline. Thank you for coming. Welcome in.
Hi, Tabline. Good mythical morning is a good
Good
intro.
mythical morning.
Um,
I love it.
you're going to gain an increased size of your love button.
Oh, yes, that is actually a fairly good point. When Okay, so we're going into developmental physiology here, but when you were born, you don't actually. What comes first is female. You are starting with a vagina. And then to use Sam's word, the member actually grows from the what was once a clitoris whenever the hormones take over and you are made male. So when you start taking testosterone, what was happening in developmental, in utero when you were being gestated, starts happening to a lesser degree on the outside, but it still starts happening.
And that can actually, I'm gonna say it now because it can actually be kind of painful. You're dealing with an increased size.
Oh yes,
Uh,
it is an extremely nerve dense area, and get growing is painful.
it is painful. If you're heading towards it, it's much worth. I thought every single bit of pain that I went through was worth it. It causes me some problems later down the line because a lot of my surgery and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to nobody here. I'm gonna just be straight and honest with you. That surgery was the most painful thing that I experienced in my life. It was so painful that other pains just do not affect me anymore. Like
Good point. Oh,
there's like so many things that like I I almost broke my finger the other day, and I was like, oh wow, I almost broke that, and I just continued on my day, and everyone's like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm just like, it just the level of pain that I went through from that surgery was so immense that
it
normal
kind of
pains
deadened you
just
to
don't
normal
affect me
pain.
anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, so like uh,
Oh, let's
like
take a
you
moment.
ever stub your oh, we're taking a moment.
Let's take a moment. What Luna would like to remind us that it's a good time to hydrate, and I think we should hydrate.
It is. It's a great time to hydrate.
So we'll take a drink. Thank you, Luna, for the reminder. As you
Thank you,
can,
Luna.
as you know, we often get sidetracked up here. We don't keep track of that. So
Oh
thank you.
yeah. Oh yeah. Here's a good one. All right, because I didn't know this until I was doing studying the other day with it. Like I said, when it comes to the female to male, I was male to female, so I didn't experience any of this side. But it was just super interesting to me that I had to write it down to bring it up during this. Um,
Danny, no, it's not wrong to talk about that. And if you would like to talk with me later, I would be more than happy to speak with you, okay?
Oh, full, and I am also that same opinion, Danny. If feel free, if you want to make, I know you said you don't have a Discord. Oh, you're
No, no, Danny's
not
part of my
working,
Discord.
right?
Yeah,
All
Danny's
right,
part of
well,
my
Danny,
Discord.
feel free to contact me as well. I do not mind talking about things. I do not mind helping people along their way. I feel like everybody should get a chance to follow what their heart tells them to, right? It's like if I feel like if there's any sort of way that I can help somebody in this world further themselves to make them happy with their lives with the way they are, then I'll take that chance every single time. I love seeing people smile. I love seeing people find their way. Um,
Yes, exactly. And you know you're always safe in my server, and you're always safe to talk with me, too. So, me and Sam, we're both here for you. If you want to
oh yeah,
talk,
a
just
thousand
talk.
percent.
We are happy to hear from you.
The slowing or stopping of menstruation.
Oh, yes, that is often something difficult that female to males have to adjust to. And it can leave the body feeling strange. So, I'm going to explain medically what it is a period does. And what a period does is that every month it sheds the uterine lining wall. That is the bleeding that you're going through. It sheds that, the most external, or I suppose the most internal of its wall, in order to have, I guess, we could call it a fresh canvas, because the uterine lining of the wall is an extremely vascular area. And because of all that vascularity, the tissue is short lived. So it needs to be replaced with a newly grown layer about every 3 weeks or so, which is why the periods happen. And when your body stops actually doing that, that uterine wall that's left behind, it can begin feeling uncomfortable because it's not being replaced. It can also have psychological components to it, simply because somebody who's been going through periods for a long while suddenly not having them, it can be a little disconcerting and cause a disconnect.
Um, Now, after this, okay, and I'm gonna make a point here real quick before I move on to the next two, because the next two are just basically repeats. Um, just because you stop menstruating doesn't mean you can't get pregnant. I
Oh,
will
yes, that is a common misconception.
like a lot of people don't think about it. A lot of people think that like, oh, I stopped, okay, and it just won't work anymore. No, that's not the case at all. Like 0%. I don't care what media tells you. I don't care what a meme somewhere tells you. You can still get pregnant if you stop menstruating. It's
Yes, you absolutely
it's
can. Don't think that you're safe and stop using protection. And
because
even if it,
that's gonna put a whole damper in your whole path because they cannot do the surgery while you're pregnant. They
oh,
cannot do the surgery. They cannot do the surgery within a certain time point after you've had a child. You might need to restart HRT from the beginning and go another year because you're gonna have to stop HRT in order to have the kid because you need the estrogen hormone to
yes, and even if you
do
did
all of that.
continue to with the HRT, the massive increase in both testosterone and in estrogen that happens in pregnancy will simply overwrite what you're actually putting in. So it,
Yeah, exact. DNA will always prevail. Like when
yes,
your body tells something to happen, it's gonna happen. Like so, there's some things that you just can't stop, and that's one of them. So be super careful out there. Always use protection. Use double protection if you can.
yes,
Um, the last two things for the female to male is the same as the other time. The body fat moving and the skin change. You're gonna get more gruff.
oh,
But I'm gonna move.
speaking of the
Yeah,
fat moving, something I forgot to mention is the fact that females have a fat layer where males do not, and it's in an area called the mons pubis, which is above where your sexual organs would be. So I don't know if you experience this yourself, but going from male to a female, you can often feel pain in your crotch as fat shifts to that area above where your sexual organs are.
is that the pain that I feel? Because that explains so much. I've been wondering about that forever. That part wasn't explained to me.
Yes, that is actually a fat layer that is only it is only present in females because the vaginal area, and that's God, how to explain this as non-sexually as possible. It's the cushion for the pushing.
Guys, understood. Understood. That was a good. That's a good way to put it. That's
But
a good way
yes,
to put it.
it's the cushion there that is meant to protect the pelvis from actual trauma during intercourse.
All right. I'm gonna go on a little tangent here, just a little bit, and I know like I've been talking a lot because I'm just going through the stuff that everybody's going through, trying to explain what you will go through and such. Um, but after HRT, there's the next step would be going to talk to a doctor. You want an LGBTQ safe doctor of an actual hospital that's going to do the surgery. They're going to ask you questions. Now, before you get to surgery, there's some things that you're going to need. You're going to need a letter of recommendation from two separate psychologists, one with an MD, one with a PhD. They have to get your name correctly. They have to get your gender correct. If they cannot get your gender correct, they will resend that letter, and that's restarting you. You have to restart over at the beginning. I went through that. It was a pain.
Yes, the
Like
bureaucratic loops are something you need to be absolutely sure about because they are
you need
not
to make sure they
shy.
have everything. They will
They,
turn down a letter and be like, "Go wait another year."
yeah,
That happened to me. It sucked.
they're not shy about booting you to the back of the line. Oh, thank you for the paddings.
So you're gonna need a letter with a letter of recommendation from a psychologist with a PhD and another one from a psychologist with an MD. You are going to need to be on HRT for at least a year. More is better, but at least a year. you're going to have to visit that doctor regularly because they're going to check up on your progress to see everything that's going on. You're going to have to go get what's called electrolysis. Foxy, do you know what electrolysis is?
Yes, electrolysis is the basically a medical procedure that is done in order to. Oh, hello, Tabline. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Electrolysis is a medical procedure that uses electric currents in order to get rid of hair growing follicles.
I think I might have to go back a little bit and say that that might have been the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I don't like.
It
No, the
is.
surgery was the surgery was definitely worse, but I don't know if you've ever been tased in the gooch before. The gooch is that little piece of skin between your private parts and your butt.
Wait, I'm
I
sorry.
don't
I'm
know.
sorry. Are you saying you've been tased in the gooch before?
Yes, I have actually. Yes.
Oh my god. That sounds
It was
horrible.
well. The electric current is basically a little taser, right?
Oh, yes, I suppose that is true. It is an
Yeah.
extremely painful procedure, and it's
So
often. It's often, I guess, compared to being given a tattoo, except more
I would have accepted a
enduring.
tattoo twice over. Because, like, at least a tattoo, I get something out of it. I don't like,
I mean,
but
yes, that is true.
so basically, what electrolysis is, they take this needle and they stab it into the hair follicle, and they electrocute that hair follicle. And after so many times of electrocuting the hair follicle, your body has kind of a visceral reaction to it and stops regrowing that hair follicle. All right. So if
Basically, you
that hair
have to
grows off the
repeatedly
hair
kill it until your body actually believes that it's dead and expels it.
and stops reproducing it, which is absolutely horrible. It's extremely painful, but you have to do it because otherwise, when they do the surgery, you'll grow hair inside of yourself.
All right, Danny, I'm taking a drink and I'm stretching right now, I promise.
Also, taking a drink.
We're taking care of ourselves, but we're getting up on the
So,
3 hour mark, so we're not going to pause this time.
so, when when doing it, you have to get rid of all the hair in the genital area because this is for male to female specifically, but it also, might also be female to male. They use all the parts to make what they're making. A lot of times in this, you have to watch the video too. They're gonna make you watch the male to female transformation video or the female to male transformation video tons of times. You are going to know how that surgery works before you ever walk into that surgery room. Um, so they stab the hair follicles and they electrocute it. The gooch is the worst part. Oh my god.
I
I was not
haven't
ready.
experienced it, but I don't want to, honestly.
I I was not ready. I thought I was ready. It was not. That one session made a bitch out of me. They handed me a little squeeze ball, and I'm like, I haven't needed the squeeze ball before. And then they were like, and I'm like, never mind, the fucking squeeze ball. like,
I need the squeeze ball. I need it.
like I need. It was bad enough that like three in, I was just like, do we have to do that spot? Is that like is this like needed or like and then
Unfortunately,
you have like seven more sessions of the same spot and I'm like please end me. Like it was bad. It was
unfortunately,
a
yes.
horrible feeling.
Oh,
It
Luna
was
had brought up a good point. They also do have laser therapies as well that do the same thing. They're supposed to be less painful, however, they're also less reliable.
Yes, and that's the problem. That's why you have to go through electrolysis and not the laser, because the electrolysis kills off the hair follicle. The laser can't. The can over time the hair follicle can come back, and you don't want hair growing up inside of yourself because. Let me put it this way. Have you ever had an infected hair?
Yes. It's
Yeah,
not
so you
fun,
don't want
and
those inside yourself.
having an internal
The
pocket is not something that you want. So
mm-mm, no,
electrolysis, it sucks, but it's also guaranteed to work.
It's guaranteed, and it's the way to go, and it's what they're gonna make you do. You're gonna need that done before you get the surgery. Um, after you have everything said and done, they have a list of things that you need to get done. Both your psychologist letters have to be within 6 months of each other. Um,
Yes.
when you go in there on that table, I was nervous. I was really nervous.
I can
Uh,
imagine.
Honestly, they give you some percentages and they make sure that you're gonna be going in there, and there was a 70-30 chance that I felt nothing.
I
So
feel like that statistic is wildly misrepresented.
no, the 70% was that I feel things. That 30% was that I feel nothing. Was that it kills off the nerves because
Oh,
they're
I thought the ratio. I thought you were saying the ratio opposite.
no. There was 30% that I felt nothing, but that's still a pretty high number.
Yes, that
So
is a very high number.
they're cutting through a whole bunch of nerves. They're separating everything down there and moving things around to fit how it should be. And at first, after I woke up from the surgery, because at this point in time I would lay down on there. Speaking of which, doctors are mean. Like while I'm here, while I can explain it, doctors are mean. All right, they had me on that table. They had me breathing in the anesthesia. I knew nothing of pain. And then like as I'm passing out, they're like, "We needed you to count down from 100," and I was like 100, 99, 98, and then this doctor goes, "When you wake up, it's gonna feel like a truck hit your crotch," and I'm like, "What?" Like, I wake up like, in the most pain I've ever been in my life, and like in some unknown location because I don't know if any of you have ever had anesthesia. You pass out in one spot and wake up in fuck knows where. like
Oh
so,
yes, very often
like,
when you lose consciousness, it feels like no time at all has passed. It feels like you've
oh yeah,
teleported.
like it does, and then like you just wake up out of nowhere and you're just like, wait, where am I? And they're like, you're in the hospital, and I'm like, I thought I didn't exist. like, so, like,
Honestly, I kind of applaud that doctor for his honesty.
oh my god, like it was just like last second. I'm like going. I'm already nervous as all hell. I'm on this table making jokes because I'm trying to find a way to deflect what I'm feeling, and then they
Yes.
hit me with that, and that's just the last thing I remember. I was told I made it to 32. I only remember like 97, so.
You actually lose consciousness before your body goes limp. Many people don't know this, but your mind stops recording incidents before you lose control of your body. So there may be a period of time where you just are acting. The lights are on, but nobody's home.
Oh yeah, the lights when the lights were on, nobody was home because I woke up in a different room in so much pain. Uh, Another thing I'm gonna point out because God, accidents happen in hospitals. All right, you're in a hospital, expect it to be crazy. Because, like, you're dealing with this right now, right? But two doors down, they're dealing with a heavy surgery where somebody might die. And it's very likely that you're going to get ignored for a few hours. So, if you're anything like me and they're switching you from a drip to the actual pills that you're supposed to be taking in order to manage the pain, and they happen to forget about your ass, you go into. I spent 4 or 5 hours waking up, pressing a button, going, I need pills, and then passing out because of pain again.
I yes. I'm not going to try to justify that honestly because we simply don't have enough healthcare workers in the country to be able to fill the ratios like we're supposed to. However, like I tell people, I used to work in an emergency room when I first became a paramedic, and so many people would be like, "Why are we waiting here for so long?" Like, the fact that we're not paying attention to you means that you're not actively dying right now. I'm going to need you to just wait because we are trying to prevent somebody else from dying right now.
Like
So,
you're sitting in here with a cough and a cold. There's a dude two doors down who were busy chopping off their leg. So if you could
exactly.
like wait 30 seconds, that'd be great. Like,
Yes. So, like, I'm not trying to justify it, of course, but at the same time, I do understand because so many things require, especially in an emergency setting, so many things require our attention, and we triage. We put people in order of priority, and we go down that list while reevaluating to make sure nothing has changed. And unfortunately, I know it sucked, and you were in a lot of pain, but also
I wasn't
you
in
were
pain.
you were stable enough that
I
you
was
were
safe
not
enough. I
dying.
wasn't passing out. I was busy sleeping through most of it because I literally woke up and the pain was so intense that I was like, I didn't know what to do. My brain didn't know how to handle that level of pain, and I think that's where that change happened. How I was saying earlier, regular pain just doesn't affect me like that anymore. Like, like when I woke up, the best way I can describe it, because I tried to describe it to somebody, and they were like, I don't get it. And I'm like, okay, let me put it this way: if somebody took the tip of your member, all right, and started threading it with a couch cushion. Like
An apt analogy, yes.
they just started threading it, and that's what it felt like. And I had enough time to wake up, get hit with extreme pain, press a button, and say I need pills, and back out again. And that was like 4 hours of waking up because my body was waking me up saying you need to get this handled. But then after I woke up, it was like you can't handle this, and then went right back down.
Actually, if you want a little bit of medical background, what you're describing is a human survival instinct, and that pain is a subjective thing, but it's also an objective thing, especially when it comes to the way your nerves transmit pain. When your brain gets hit by a certain amount of pain stimulus, it says to itself, "No, we're going to pass out," and then it makes you pass out. It's a self-protective mechanism in order to stop your brain from basically frying itself under the pain stimulus. However, your brain must also wake you up periodically to reevaluate the situation because it can't do that while you're unconscious. So, what you were experiencing was your brain being overloaded, saying nope and turning itself off, but then turning itself on a little later to see if something has changed.
Yeah, and it was just back and forth for like hours. After they got me managed, though, everything was fine. The rest of everything went fantastic. Now, I'm gonna move forward towards one like last step here. That
Okay.
we've had the surgery, right? So we went through HRT. We went through the psychologist. We went through HRT. We found ourselves a doctor. We went through the checklist the doctor gave us. We had the surgery, and now after the surgery, what's it like living post-op? Now, I would have to say that it's a lot more responsibilities. I'm much happier. I've never been more happy in my life. I feel like I'm in the right body now, and it makes me so happy. And I'm at a point to where the last step I really need to complete is to continue to work out to form my body the way I want it to be. I've said multiple times over the last few weeks, everyone's like, you're working out really hard. I'm trying to hit that goddess status. I want to look absolutely stunning. I want to turn heads when I walk into the room. So I'm
Sam wants to
slowly.
have that ass you can bounce a quarter off of.
Fuck yes, I do. But I'm a lot more happier and I'm a lot calmer than I used to be. I'm way more in touch with my emotions. I'm not feeling as much rage as I did. Like I said, like much earlier on in the stream, that I was dealing with a lot of rage, a lot of hatred. That basically all lifted off my shoulders after the surgery. It filled me with so much happiness to feel like I was finally me. And it was an absolutely a great feeling. I'm gonna do a little side note. This may be a little bit TMI, but sex is great. Um, uh, that now we're getting more into the how I said I have more responsibilities thing. I
Damn,
have to dilate
Danny's
once.
Danny won the genetic lottery.
Win. I have to dilate, and dilate basically means I need to, in layman's terms, I have to stretch myself out so I don't heal closed.
Yes, that is actually an excellent point. What the Okay, if you're squeamish, feel free to click away from this for a minute because I'm going to explain what exactly the gender reassignment surgery does. Uh, it's not pretty, so if you don't want to listen, just click away. It'll last for like a minute. Okay, so for a female to male, sorry, male to female, what happens is that they basically split the penis in half and invert it. They turn it inside out and press it into the insides while creating a new cavity for it. What this is, what your body reads it as, is an actual wound. It is something that it needs to close. It needs to heal. This is a deeply traumatic wound, and I need to close it. That is your body's job. Your body can't be told otherwise. So, constant maintenance, like Sam said, is something to be prepared for.
It's not something that stops either. So keep that in mind. If you're aiming to get this surgery, it comes with work. It comes with work. I have to dilate once a week for the rest of my life, for the entire remainder of the rest of my life. Because if not, it heals closed, and that healing closed means another surgery to reopen myself. And the surgery was not cheap. The surgery came out to about $150,000, and that's with all of the steps in between, the
Yes.
HRT, the therapy, the doctor's visits, everything together came out to about $150,000.
It's
Can't
an
be covered by
extremely
insurance.
it is an extremely expensive process, and as Sam said, don't let it close. Just because you have the surgery again doesn't mean the results will be the same again. That
Yeah.
risk of losing all sensation down there, Sam got the good odds, got that 70%, and she managed to keep her sensation. If she allowed that to close and had to go through the surgery again, there's a whole nother risk of severing those nerves and killing them.
Um. Yeah, that's 100% true, which terrifies me sometimes. But
Just keep up with the
because I'm always
maintenance.
just
It's
like,
fine.
I always keep up with the maintenance. I got to.
Yes. I'm trying to reiterate it's important to keep up with that.
I also have to continue to take my hormone shots. I no longer produce testosterone. That is something I don't produce any longer. I don't have the parts to produce that any longer.
Yes, and you
So,
also don't have the natural biological equipment to produce estrogen either. So yes, you will be. I mean, the males can produce estrogen, just not in the quantities that females can because they lack the biological components to have that level. So yes, you will always be dependent on external hormones, which can sometimes also include taking testosterone supplements as well, because nobody actually just lives in a state of one or the other. Estrogen and testosterone are always mixed in everybody's body, except in
oh yeah.
one extremely rare medical case where of basically chromatic hermaphrodism, where somebody came out only with the genetic signature of a female that was purely female. It was an odd case and kind of a once in a species thing.
Draken, I can't guarantee that as I am not a doctor, but on that same point, I would go and visit a doctor and check because it could be a mass of different things. It could be you maybe worked too hard and you stretched a muscle. It could be from the HRT, or it could be from some outlining factor that doesn't equate into anything.
Damn,
You
Sam,
know,
Daddy even has natural eyeliner. That's damn.
that's what I want natural. That'd be awesome. I want to look like an Egyptian princess.
Daddy's so pretty.
um, Along with having to take the hormones once a week, I still have to keep active. Because I don't produce testosterone anymore, and I only inject uh, inject estrogen into myself. Estrogen, unlike testosterone, where it's a lot of muscle gain, estrogen is a lot of fat gain. So if I'm not active, if I'm not pushing myself to lose weight, I can gain weight extremely quickly.
Which in some cases can be a good thing, especially if you're trying to build your ass or, something else, but it can very easily get out of hand as well.
Yes, and see that's the problem, is the getting out of hand. Um, Now there's one final thing, because that pretty much ends my notes. Besides a few other like outlier things here and there, right? But I encourage you, and I encourage everybody who's listening, everybody who showed up to the stream, everybody who's watched later, everybody who sees this into the future, make sure it's right for you. There's
Absolutely.
no time limit. I've said this twice now. I'm saying it a third time because you guys need to know there is no time limit on figuring yourself out. Don't feel rushed to come up with life's answers. Find what best fits you. You don't need to rush into a decision.
And
Let yourself
also,
think it out.
don't let yourself fall into the sunk cost fallacy. And for those of you who don't know, the sunk cost fallacy is the tendency of us as humans to, when we put enough work into something, be stuck continuing to put work into something, even if it's turned out to be a horrible mistake, simply because we've already put so much work into it, we can't stop now. Even if years later you're you're going through the process, you've been on HRT, you're close to having your surgery, and you realize to yourself, wait, this isn't actually what I want. Don't let yourself fall into that sunk cost fallacy. It is perfectly okay to change directions. It is perfectly okay to just stop and reevaluate.
Like I said, you got to make sure it's right for you. It's and I encourage you to take a couple extra years, right? You got to set time, right? You're like, I want this done by 20. Wait till 25.
Yes, make
Can't
sure
be done
give
by
yourself
30.
plenty of time. Make sure that last permanent step, all other gender affirming care, it's temporary. It can be reversed. That last step is not temporary. Do
It is
not try to
not
rush it.
temporary.
Make sure.
You don't want to end up with a decision that you weren't ready for, and that decision comes with risks. So like I said, that 70-30, there was a 30% chance that I woke up feeling nothing. Speaking of which, while I'm there, I thought I didn't feel anything after the surgery. I didn't think I could get off. It took me, and I'm gonna say fondling, right? Because I was trying to explore my new body. All right. I
Right?
was trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, because I wanted to be active, and because I have a boyfriend, and I didn't want to just feel nothing, right?
Right?
Don't be afraid to explore yourself. It took me 8 hours of continually searching my body to find the spot that fit well with me. for me to be able to feel again. And every single time after that, the time cut down. So, like, the first time it took me like 8 hours to get there, and the next time it took me like 6 hours. And the next time it gives you four. The more you use it, the more you feel around to find it. It's like riding a bike. You have to teach your body how to do it again.
Yes, that's the goes along with the pathology of healing that wound, like I was talking about earlier. The body the body heals the way it's told to, and sometimes that isn't exactly the way we would like it to. But it also is able to adapt. So finding that nerve, stimulating the area, will cause nerves to be regenerating and to hook up into the nervous system. Even if you don't feel anything right away, your body is still healing, and your body maybe just needs some time to recalibrate and some gentle stimulation on your own in order to show it where exactly it should be growing these new nerves.
Now, this is actually the last bit of notes that I had before we can just, I guess, chat or end stream. We are like 3.5 hours in, which fantastic,
Oh, yes.
fantastic talk, Foxy. This was great, fantastic.
I'm very
Don't
much enjoying this.
believe, do not believe people when they say that there is no care around. There is care everywhere. All right, you can find LGBT care, you can find trans care everywhere. Just to name off a few. First of all, I had my surgery at the Cleveland Clinic, and it was the best decision that I have ever made in my life. It made me so happy. It brought me a joy that I never thought that I could feel. So I will always suggest the Cleveland Clinic first because they were very helpful. Expensive, very helpful. Because on that being expensive, I was saying that it can be covered in by insurance. If you're looking for something to make it cheaper, go work for Walmart. Walmart can cover everything up to I believe like $5,000, $6,000. So I only really ended up paying like $6,000 out of the whole 150,000.
Damn,
Starbucks, I
that's actually
believe,
pretty nice.
it's really good. Blue Cross Blue Shield. Um, very very good, and they covered everything up to that point. The only things that they didn't cover were the room, the medicine, and the doctor's visits leading up to it, like the doctor's visits and the therapy stuff. Didn't cover any of that, but did cover the actual surgery, the anesthesia, everything along that line.
There
Starbucks,
are
I hear, I'm not 100% sure if they do it anymore, but I heard that if you work for Starbucks, Starbucks will cover 100% of the costs.
I'd never heard that before, but I hope it's true. It'd be nice if a corporation was not being a complete asshole about the whole thing. And there are various foundations out there that can also be able to help you. Um, it might not be a full cost cover type of thing, but even just for information, even just for finding the right resources, explore the options. Don't be afraid to go somewhere else if something doesn't feel right with who you're currently talking to, and make sure to look for those resources. Don't, like Sam said, don't believe somebody when they tell you that there isn't care available close to you, because A, they could just be wrong, B, they could just be lying to you because they don't want you to get the care you need.
Here's some clinics that are these are around the country. Now, I can't speak outside the country. I haven't been outside the country. I don't know the gender affirming care. I hear some's bad. I hear some's good. But my Mayo Clinic in Minnesota,
The Mayo Clinic.
Mayo, the John Hopkins Medicine that's in Baltimore, uh, Rush University Medical Center. These are all places that do the surgery, so they'll be able to help you. Um, Rush University Medical Center in Chicago, Illinois. IU School of Medicine and Clinical Affiliates in Indianapolis, Indiana. I don't know how to pronounce that. S S S Eskenazii Health, Indianapolis, Indiana. Dignity Health Hospitals in Arizona and California.
Es-
Denver Health in Denver.
Escanitza?
Hmm?
Huh, I'm not
Yeah,
sure how to pronounce that.
definitely.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure how to pronounce that one either.
yeah. I was trying to figure that one out, but it was rough. Duke Health in NC. I don't. I'm bad with states. And then there's
North
Ladone
Carolina.
Health in New York. There's literally places, and this is just a list that I grabbed. Besides the Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland Clinic wasn't even on this list. So this place I got my surgery was not on the list of places that is known for giving the surgery. You can
Yes.
find help anywhere. All right, and those doctors, if they're looking out for you, if they're really there for you, can lead you along the right path. Trust your doctors and follow the path they set out for you, because they're going to be your best resource on reaching the goals that you want to reach.
I will add a caveat to that. Trust your doctors if they've shown they are worthy of trust. You
Yep,
also have to make
one little
sure,
caveat.
because doctors are still simply human beings. They have their own biases, they have their own beliefs, and sometimes they let those beliefs or biases affect the way they give patient care. And we're not supposed to let that happen, but it does happen because who is going to police a doctor in their own practice?
Balheed, you said you had a question.
Oh, hello, Vahid. What's your question? Whoa, hello.
How would you even know if you're definitely trans or not? I've been conflicted for a long time now. I'm very confused in the past week. Uh, is HRT even worth it? HRT is much worth it, especially if you're feeling like you want to switch your genders, and or if you're feeling like you're one or the other. I do not know if you're male or female, so I'm saying one or the other. Um,
What you can also do, gender affirming care, so many times they believe, when we talk about gender affirming care, so many times people believe it's a medical intervention only. It is not. Uh, Gender affirming care can be something as simple as. Okay, so for an example, every now and again I do good girl and good boy videos. And that is simply because being told that you are a good girl or a good boy is a form of me providing gender affirming care. Because it doesn't matter what your biological sex are, if you identify as one of those, and I make sure to stipulate that in my videos, if you are a female or if you identify as a female, you're such a good girl. I make sure to make that distinction because that is a form of gender affirming care, is to be told that, and to be referred to as that. So gender affirming care can be as simple as changing your clothes to a from a typically male presenting area and trying out a typically female presenting outfit and maybe seeing how that makes you feel. There are many number of little experiments you could run, and all you have to do is listen to your feelings. There's also the VR route. You could try VR chat, maybe. Make an avatar that appeals to you directly and see how you feel when you see yourself as that.
well, then you might, and like I was saying during the other stream, Valheed, always search for or for mental health care first. All right, so you want to visit a counselor, a therapist, or a psychologist, and this is for your own good. They need to be an LGBTQ okay psychologist, counselor, or therapist. But from what I understand, from what you've told me, and from what I've understand, you might be trans. And I'm not deciding that for you.
Oh,
I
there's no
am
need.
just
You said that she's nervous about going to see a psychologist. Like, there's no need to be nervous about that. I know it's kind of a scary thing. However, all you need to do is be honest with your psychologist. Don't try to hide things. Lay out things as simply as you understand them. And if the psychologist is a good one, they'll help you figure out what the feelings are attached to that, Balahid. There's no need to be nervous. Go in,
No need to be nervous at all.
go in expecting to give the full and honest truth to this person without trying to hide yourself. Okay?
And then if you wanna talk about it afterwards, feel free. Feel free. You like I said, you might indeed be trans, but there's other things you can be there too. You might not be non-binary. Who knows? This is kind of something that
It's an
this is one of
individual
those things that
journey.
you have to figure out on your own a little bit, right? And as we've said several times throughout the stream, there's no rush, right? You don't have to feel like you need to know right now. Like, I see you're struggling in trying to understand. You're like, I don't know what I am. I don't know if I feel better this way or that way. And as you just said, you're new to this. You don't have to rush through it.
Yes,
Take
and it
time to
always takes
explore
time.
yourself. Take time to find who you are, right? What you're happy with. If you find that you would rather be a girl than be a boy, then you're trans. And this is something that you will explore and find along your way.
Well, Balheed, you'll get it. I promise you will. And since you just like being called a girl, I just want you to let you know you are a very good girl. Okay? We love you and we appreciate you. We do understand. It's not a rush. And if you feel like later on this isn't really how you feel, then that's fine. But
Yeah, it's
the
fine.
fact that you're unsure right now, that isn't anything weird. That's perfectly natural.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay.
I've went through all of my bullet points, I believe. And I don't think I really have anything much else to talk about. What about you, Foxy?
I mean, I could still go on for several hours on different topics, but we've already been doing this for 3.5 hours. I think that's enough for one stream,
I,
and we will
I think that's enough for one stream, yeah.
we'll definitely. It seems like there's a lot of people who are interested in joining us and adding their perspective. So I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think this
for sure.
is.
This has been a great. I feel like this has been a great success.
Me too.
This has been a great day.
I don't think this will be the last time we broach this topic and a bunch of other topics.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I believe, and Kaiser might want to do a solo stream with you too. I believe they already talked about it, and you two would have to work on setting it up. If you
Yes,
guys want to
he
invite me,
has.
feel free to invite me. But I don't really know much about. I believe they said they wanted to talk about OCD next.
Yes, Kaiser wanted to talk about an issue that affects him and how the misrepresentation of that issue in popular media really makes it difficult for people to understand. And I thought that would be a great topic to talk about.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic topic to talk about. I don't have OCD myself, so I don't think I would have anything to like add or to interject in there. So I I I don't want to per se muddy the waters with an opinion that's not there.
Well,
So
actually, that could be something positive. Basically, you could be our control group for that one.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I would check with Kaiser first, make sure that's what they want to do, because I did specifically request that it was you and me today. So it's all depending
Yes.
on what you two want to do, whatever you two feel more comfortable with. But I feel like today's been an absolutely great success. It's been great to sit here and talk to you. I can't, I literally can't believe the amount of understanding that came out of you today, Foxy. There's not a lot of people that I would say truly understand where I was coming from, and I even have a hard time explaining myself. But your medical knowledge on this whole thing was absolutely outstanding, and um, I super appreciate even being able to do this with you. So thank you, Foxy, for coming along on this journey. It's been a really good day. So
I've
thank you so
had
much.
a great time doing this, and I'm so happy that my understanding is based on my own perspective and the things I'm told, the things I'm able to observe. So the fact that my understanding rang true for you, it's extremely validating. I'm so glad that that happened and that I can help you to feel understood too.
Oh,
And
it was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Could not be more flawless.
the reason that I try so hard to understand is because I love you. I really do. I love you. I love everybody within the trans community. I don't ever
I
want
love you too,
any of
Fox.
you to suffer alone. So I want to understand. And I hope that I've proven today that I do understand and that you're
Oh,
safe around
oh,
me.
beyond a doubt. Beyond a doubt. You did absolutely fantastic. I was nervous starting this thing, but I'm ending this in high hopes for humanity. So
Oh,
thank you for being here.
that's so sweet. Thank you. Okay, so we will. I believe we can call this a day here. We've been
Yep.
gone through a lot of things, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we saw so many people here.
Oh yeah, it's been a great day. It's been a great day, and helping people out, helping people understand. You know, trying trying to help people is really been a great time today. But
All right,
thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here.
before we adjourn, I am going to offer everybody a little praise because I love you so much. So, for everybody here who's female or who identifies as female, you are a very good girl. And don't ever forget that. You're sweet, you're beautiful, you're adorable, and I love you so much. If you're a male, or if you identify as a male, you are such a good boy. So strong, so protective, so gorgeous. I love you so much, and I hope you know that I'm always here for you. I adore each and every one of you, no matter what you identify as. Even if you don't identify as either of those things, I'll call you my good bunny. But my affection never changes. So I hope you know that you are loved so much. And thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you at my next one. Mwah.
Oh,
Everybody get
all
kissed.
right, everybody. Mwah. Thank you guys so much for being here. You don't know how much I appreciate every single one of you. You don't know how much we appreciate every single one of you. It's great to have you guys around. It means so much to us that you guys come and watch us, especially on days like this when we're out here trying to help the world. It means so much that you guys are giving us your attention and really trying to interact and join us in this journey. It's just so inspiring. Thank you guys for being here. We can't do this without you. So you guys are the real MVPs here. I love every single one of you, and I can't wait to see you all next time when you join us right here on Sync's Bad Habits.
Six bad habits.
See
That's
y'all.
funny.
Love y'all.
Bye. And Draken, no,
Bye.
I won't be able to stream tomorrow, unfortunately. I'm beginning my travel back to work.
Oh no, you're gonna be missing for 2 weeks.
Now I'm going to be trying to at least stream a little bit. Oh, but the next
Oh,
time I do stream, I have such a surprise. My new full body model is ready, and I'll be revealing it.
oh yes, yes, I forgot. Oh wait. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, give me a second. Let me go back to the chat room. Raid. Like,
Oh yes, let's go raid somebody. Let's make somebody's day.
yeah. Who are we raiding?
Uh, I think Cool Gamer is streaming right now.
Well,
He gave
is
me
their name?
Cool Gamer 12. I don't know if you.
Find their name and type it into the chat, and then if you type it into the chat, I can raid from that.
Let's see. The reason I was reminded about Cool Gamer is because his name is up there on my most recent Raiders list. He raided me last night, or
Ah,
not last night, but my last
that's awesome.
stream.
Well, it's time for a double raid. Let's get them back.
All
So,
right.
how do I? Oh, there it is. There it is. Cool. Cool gamer underscore 12W. Love you all. You guys have a fantastic day.
Bye, everybody. I love you.
I don't think it worked.
Damn. Uh, well,
Score 12W. There was a problem starting this raid. Please. Oh, cart. Okay.
maybe
Back
he's
to the
not.
chat room a second time.
Well, that was my vote. You pick somebody.
Oh, I pick random people. All right. Let's
Well,
see.
just pick somebody who looks adorable.
Pick somebody who looks adorable. All right. So if I were to search, let's see, like, uh, wild assault, maybe. Maybe.
Oh, sure. Let's go raid a furry.
Let's go raid a. There was no. I like to raid like newer people, people who just don't have anybody watching. Makes them feel good.
Oh yeah.
I will find one. Oh, okay. Found one. And they look like a cutie. AISLINGRIEDSEL.
No idea how to pronounce that, but sounds great.
No, I don't know. But the first A is capitalized, and the first R is capitalized.
All right, sounds good. Let's go raid him.
All right. I'm on my way to the raid. If I can do it right.
Everybody, when we get there, make sure to tell him that he's loved.
Raid has been created. All right, it worked. It worked. Did your is your raid working?
Uh,
I'm gonna type it right here so you can see it.
yes, I may have gotten it wrong.
That should be it right there.
Oh, Iceling Reitzel.
Yes, that should be it. Let me know when you get your raid going.
All right. Uh, wait, shit. I haven't done this in a while. There we go. All right, raid channel.
All right. Love y'all. Tapping to raid now. Click.
Alright, I'm starting the raid.
Welcome to my stream.